leave Luke. Don't talk about
him for a bit.
Karl,
Leave him for a,
don't talk about him. That's our trump card towards the end of the show. All right. This is Karl Holden, owner of St Helens Darts Shop.
2 to 10 people a day on average coming in, whereas now it's 50 to 250 a day. You know,
it's because of this man that I think it's safe to say I'm addicted to the game.
There's no money in darts. There's no money in darts.
I suppose he was right at the time.
So I bought a house with a big garage to run the company from. I think we did just over £200,000 from that garage. Security's got to take him to the hotel. You might get abuse off them, especially if they come out the venue and they're drunk.
It's one of those, isn't it, where you're happy to be in final and you look who you're against, you go Phil Taylor, you go, oh, Jesus Christ.
But some of these players are capable of over 120 average.
Something that's dear to your heart is the St Helens Darts Academy.
We've helped out probably 2,000-3,000 kids at that academy over the years, you know. Luke loves to win, he loves to show how good he is, and he's good at that. He's going to be a millionaire, probably multi-millionaire or something at some stage.
Is there a possibility, do you think, that Luke could burn out? I'm a little bit nervous.
It'll be all right.
I can't lie to you.
Do you know what, when you done your last video, I'll be honest with you, I watched it and went, do you know what, he's freaking good, him. And you know, because I see, I can't do what you can do, you know what I mean? I can do my job all day long, and I can talk to people all day long, especially in here, you know, but when I'm ever on telly, I've seen myself, I'm like, oh, Jesus, that bad, that. You know, but when it's watch your videos like that was really good. That's what I was on about the academy. Like, if you do one from the academy, like, because we have funds for certain things, and even if we just give you a few pound for producing something about our academy, you know what I mean? Our committee will agree to it, or I'll get a sponsor.
I don't do this for.
I know you said that, but
I don't do it for money. I do it for. I want to tell stories. I want to try and inspire people to get out and do stuff, and that's something which. This is why we're doing the podcast, essentially, is because, like, listening to stories, listening to people talk about their passion. You've obviously got a unique passion for something that, many years ago, really wasn't big. Why did you guys choose darts?
My dad. A simple answer was my dad, and my dad started the St Helens Super League, so I remember him doing that, and they won the first ever Super League, and he also started the Lancashire County Darts as well. He was one of, I think, 7 of them that set it up. So once my dad done something like that, I was very proud of him, but again, probably many years down the line, my dad never said what he did, how good he was. I didn't even know he'd won 172 trophies, but when I got him out the loft, I was like, wow, look at them. And then when I looked at what he'd done, he averaged 100 for England. He averaged 100 for Lancashire against Sweden. And things I never told me that. And, you know, as you get older, you think, God, he was good. I wish I was that good, you know what I mean? So he's the reason I love darts. And then basically when I got laid off work, I thought, what should I do? I thought, I'll just sell darts. I like darts, I'll sell darts. And rather than, because I queued up in the dull queue as it was then, I only queued up once, I went, I ain't coming back here again. I've never been since, and I'll hopefully never go again, you know what I mean?
So before this shop, which, by the way, is, if you've never been to St Helens Darts Shop, it's got to be up there with one of my favourite shops. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in front of you now. Genuinely, usually what you get from a shop is, don't take this the wrong way, but you usually go into a shop, it's polished and everything's prim and proper. And when you come into St Helens Darts Shop, you don't get that. What you get in St Helens Darts Shop is history. Everywhere you look, there's some sort of history, and it's unbelievable. Like we're just behind Karl here now is a stage Which you told me is from
the Isle of Man. The actual Isle of Man stage, yeah. What Phil Taylor won on, and Alan Warren first ever win in 1986. So loads of history on that. Again, we love it. The man who was selling it could have got a lot more money for it, and he gave it me because he wanted, because he knew he was like getting old, should we say, and Les France, his name was, and he wanted me to show it off for the rest of the life rather than just sell it to somebody who's going to use it and make money out of it. So that's why we got it. And again, great friends of my dad, and Les France was one of the founder members of Lancashire Darts who set Lancashire Darts up. Yeah, so was good friends until Les died, of course, about 5 years ago.
You mentioned it just a second ago there that you queued up on the dole queue for a day.
Yeah, once.
Well,
that was it.
This is kind of what, again, the page is to try and inspire people. But it's really interesting to me that you've just said there that you've gone from being stood in the dole queue and you made that decision in your mind to go, this ain't for me. And it could have been dead easy to go, just to keep going back to that dole week in, week out, being handed money.
Yeah.
And you said, no, I'm not doing that.
Definitely not, no.
So give us a little bit of a background from where you come from. And
Well, I worked at a famous company in St Helens called Barton's. Like they've been going over 100 years. I love that job. Again, this job's probably become much easier for me because my job was delivering door to door all around St Helens and Wigan mainly. So I met everybody. And again, when I started that job, I was nervous at meeting people. Certainly a few of them strong Wigan accents. I actually struggled to understand them. But again, years down the line, I've worked it all out and I've listened and I've learned off people, you know. And people have taught me my job in here, you know. All them customers saying, and in the past I had to try different darts for different people and just try to get that right set of darts for them customers. But because I've done it hundreds of thousands of times, I can sometimes somebody can come in and just talk to me for 5-10 seconds, and then obviously then I can get them the right equipment. So again, going back to what's made this success is all the things that's gone in, and probably because I was secretary of the cricket team and just things like that. I always loved helping people out. I always just like getting stuck in, helping the team, whatever it may be. You know, I'm not the best dart player, but I'm probably one of the best sorting them out, you know. And I said then a good friend of mine got me a job in the glass industry, which a very well paid job. I went from £200 a week to 400. Of course, then days, which was about 27 years ago, it was a lot of money then. And I went working there, and then unfortunately the factory got shut down 18 months later. And that's when I went in the door queue, and I went in and I queued up like you did at 9:30 in the morning. I'm looking at all them, and then the run to post office and getting whatever getting the beers and things, and I go, you know, I can't do that. I literally can't do it. You know, I'd rather not get any money than queue up at one more time. So I thought I have to do something. And then I was just talking to my dad, and my dad said, "Oh, I don't know what you do, son." Now I said, "Well, he said, you'll get a job somewhere. Everybody likes you. You'll get a job." And I just said, "Well, I might start selling darts," because my dad did a little bit of that in the 70s, shall we say. And he said, "Oh, there's no money in darts." There's no money in darts.
I suppose he was right at the time.
Yeah, at the time he was, yeah. And again, that's exactly how the company did. It was called A180 then, which was worldwide famous. Everybody, you know.
Which is kind of what I heard. Yeah, that's the name I heard.
Right behind you, there's a man called Justin Fawcett. Unfortunately, he had a tattoo with A180 on his arm, which made me go, do you know, at the time I was so proud, but when we sold the company and I went up. He loved us so much. He come over from Canada and things like that. So again, that's just how it started. I went on the internet. A friend of mine, Mike, said, try and sell on eBay. Never heard of it. So I tried it, and was run it from literally on a council estate, on a little box bedroom it was. And then probably 3-4 months later, I was sending loads out, and you know, people on the estate was like, you know, what's happening? There's all vans pulling up all the time, and people were talking, and I said, we have to get out of here. So I bought a house with a big garage. That's all. We just bought the house with a big garage. We didn't bother about the house. We just wanted a garage to run the company from. You know, just and literally, it was probably 12 months after that. I think we did just over £200,000 from that garage. So we had no overheads. It was amazing job to do and things, but again, we outgrew that. So, of course, we outgrew it. I think the final straw was the wife, actually, Dawn. She opened the cupboard and all these darts landed on her head, literally, and she was not very happy at all. If anyone who comes in the shop knows Dawn, you know when she's not happy about something, should we say. So that was it. Then we'll have to move out. And again, because I know so many people through the darts, and I played darts at the time, and didn't, you know what I mean? And it was my mate Fred, he said, somebody's got a big unit there, not far from here, Karl. And I come and seen this. I went, this is too big, this is too big. And he said, well, I'll do you a good deal. If you take so he did us a good deal, and he's the size of this. And he's always been good, my landlord, you know. And so we got a massive shop and for run the online side. And when we first run it, this room we're in now, this was the only room we used. And then we opened the shop bit at the front, which wasn't very popular, you know what I mean? But we probably did about 2 to 10 people a day on average coming in, whereas now it's 50 to 250 a day, you know, so that's not half changed. But again, all these other rooms got full, and I think we got stressed out with the website. It's extremely hard work, constantly day and night, message. You know, problems going wrong with posts, Royal Mail losing parcels. I get the blame for it all, and I hated that part of the job. And I think when I sold, I think it was up to about £900,000 turnover, and I got rid of it because I didn't like it. I just simply didn't like it, you know. And I thought, we'll just run the shop as long as I break even. That's what would do me fine. Just break even, I'm happy. As long as me and Don's got a wage, and we can look after customers. And as soon as we changed, we knew this was the job for us, you know, because everybody comes in here, they're really happy people. And as you know, we just met somebody from Austria, literally gone from Austria to come to me, been to Scotland, then they had to come to the dart shop, and I'm going, that's just mad. And then I said to them, where are you going home now? No, we're going to Warrington. We're going to see Luke Littler's kebab shop. And I'm like, that was 9 months ago. There's people still talking about that. And everybody in Austria knows about Luke Littler's kebab shop. And it's
was a little bit bizarre, really, wasn't it? Because we're just setting up for the podcast, and this I'd say he's a good looking chap, and I've just told him to subscribe, another subscribe to the channel, and so he'll be watching this, and he comes through, and he's taking pictures of the dart shop, and again going back to if he was to go into like a normal shop, you know, you can see how amazed he is with all this memorabilia that Karl's got in here, and it is everywhere you look. It's just full of history, and the lovely people, and it's something again I've written down here, but we'll get onto that point as we speak right now. Is that's the beauty of darts and the beauty of life is being able to communicate with people from different backgrounds, and I feel like darts has come from a pub sport, essentially, hasn't it? Where, you know, it's a very social sport. A few beers, a few laughs with your mates, chucking a few arrows, a bit of tungsten at a board. And it was lovely just to have a little 5-10 minutes talking to somebody from Austria, you know, just about this simple game.
And obviously, you're not the first Austrian in. You know, we had Roby Rodriguez in and things like that. We've had... people, obviously, Brendan Dolan. I mean, just in my house when the PDC was on in Wigan, you know, people from Scotland, Alan Norris has stayed from Sweden, Parionen, and we've had people from all over Europe just coming here and flying here to come here as well. But the players that we used to help out, and we didn't financially give them money, but we'd let them stay in my house, we'd feed him, I'd take him to Wigan and come work. So it's just seeing, and South Africa, they've come from everywhere. You know, we love it.
How does that make you feel then? Because I don't want to keep talking about it, but you've gone from the dole, you've gone from somebody who is literally struggling for money, and all of a sudden now you've created this, and it's phenomenal. And I have to say that the first time I met Karl was genuinely the first time we shot that video, and your hospitality is next to... It's the best thing I've ever seen in terms of just you being you.
Yeah. Well, I think we treat everybody the same, no matter what your religion is, no matter what you are. We treat them all good, you know, and that's important to me. I mean, my pet hate is if somebody's rude to a customer, that's not good. And I think anybody will tell you in the past, if they wasn't quite good to a customer, that's my pet hate, that's all. We treat them all very good, you know, that's what we like doing. And it's our passion to help them out, you know, to get, not just get the right set of darts, but to... This back room, as you see, we bring them in, and people spend 2 hours looking at these pictures, which I think we're probably up to about 2,500-3,000 pictures. And again, hopefully one day I'll get all my stuff out, because what you've got here is a lot. But we've got stuff at my dad's house. My dad's got stuff there. It's just there's nobody. And 99.99% of my customers don't even know my dad's got this stuff, and it's stuff that is unique. He's got the darts from the first ever winner of the News of the World, 1948. He retired a few years later, and they gave me dad his darts when my dad was like 18, 19. And so there's all stories like that have not even got out yet. And again... Well,
we're definitely going to have to come back and do another one, I suppose, because you've got so many to tell, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and again, I'll show you my dad's garage one day as well. Yeah, that's just got mainly old stuff, you know, but he's got suitcases full of programs. It's just, I don't think, if I started reading them now, I don't think I'd finish by the time I was 80. He's got that much. You know, again, we're planning on one day getting all that out, so that'd be That'd be unique if we can get that out and let people come and see that. You know, again, it's something we're planning on. We're always planning on making this room and this shop better. But as you can see, we're running out of room. We're running out of floor space.
I think every time I've come in recently, there's been more and more boxes piled up everywhere.
Yeah.
Because I suppose you're getting
ready for Christmas now, yeah. Starting.
The busy time.
Yeah.
Busy time. So what was your process in terms of, you decided in that door queue, don't want to do that. And you said that you started from a small box room.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of funding that, like for anybody who's listening who might be inspired by this story to try for themselves, they might be in a similar situation to what you was in. What would you offer in terms of like, would you just say to that person, go and do it?
Time, but just go for it. You know what I mean? If you've not got nothing, you've got nothing to lose. So just go for it. You know what I mean?
So is that your mantra then? I've got nothing.
Yeah. I got a £500 start from the Chamber of Commerce as it was then, and I got £500 start, which again that was a great help because it was £500 for free. You know, all I had to do is generally sort a business out. But obviously, as that expands, like anything else, you know, darts don't come free to me. People might think that, but they don't. I've got to pay for them, you know. And again, your stock levels are growing every year. Your stock levels go up, so you've got to pay for them. So we have had loans in the past, so we're pretty happy now that we actually haven't got a loan and we don't owe any suppliers. So again, whatever money there I can spend, I can use it or give it away, or you know. This year alone, just I think on discounts, helping the kids out in particular, helping the youth players and them going to JDC and the other things, we give a lot away for free, should we say. I'd eat my cap if we've not given 20, 30,000 away this year. Again, we don't need to do that, but we're giving them an opportunity to succeed in darts, especially the youth players, you know what I mean? And again, we've helped the Little House as well, obviously his main name, but you know, there's lots of others, Elliker and Jack Bowman, young Jimmy Weldon, who's not young no more, should we say, but there's all them people who we've helped out, on top of obviously your big boys, but again, we didn't really financially massively help Bunting and Chizzy worked here. We give them a job in here. You know, and again, we give them a job so we could play darts. We give them an opportunity, you know what I mean? So, again, that's probably one of my biggest things ever, is working with Steve for 6 years. He's great to talk to, Steve. He can talk for hours, literally.
Bunting.
Yeah. So, I sat next to him for years.
We'll have to get him on.
He's a big superstar, but to me, he's just a friend.
Well, it's really interesting because you were mentioning before we started that you hate TikTok. When you're talking to...
I just...
but he's massive on it.
Yeah.
He's huge. He's unbelievable.
He can do it, though. He's good at that.
He's a good lad, isn't he? He's a good laugh. Yeah. Seems like one of the lads that you want to go to a pub with, for sure. And we've not actually introduced you to the cameras yet. So for anybody who doesn't know who this is and is currently interested in the story, this is Karl Holden, owner of St Helens Darts Shop. And it's because of this man that I think it's safe to say I'm addicted to the game.
Yeah, again, I've got thousands of stories, but I think, you know, I'm not addicted to games, and some people just love darts a bit. And I know people, I've got a very good friend there. He's played for my team and things, I'll not name him, but he's quit darts, unfortunately. That was 25 years ago, he quit darts, and the week after he quit darts. And he was still there last night, and he still said he's finished. I've had enough, and he says it every week. But he comes back the week after. So I think that probably explains how darts works. If you have a bad game, you're finished. You've had enough. Some of them, not everybody, but they come back. They keep coming back because they love it. I think that's probably about right. That's probably the right story for loving darts. Yeah.
Well, we met for the first time. I mentioned earlier on when it was. Literally, I came in to do a video with you. I came in the day before just to show my face, and I spoke to Dawn, and she mentioned that I need to speak to you. I think we text, and you said, yeah, come along. So we did the video the day after. And so what you saw on camera was genuinely me and you meeting for the first time. And it was... The video's done really well, and it was, again, designed because I am a complete novice in this game. Like, Up until this point, I had like one of those, you know, them boards you get from Argos with them dead heavy darts, and you can get like one in a treble, and they bounce out at you constantly, almost killing you. I had one of them when I was a bit younger, probably threw for maybe a few hundred times or whatever. So I was never any good, but I knew kind of the logistics of the game as such, you know. But you set me right in that video. And for anybody who's not watched that video, I'd tell you to go back and watch it if you're kind of new to the game like I am, because you are getting a unique perspective on how you should come into a shop like Karl's and get fit for the right darts for yourself, I suppose, don't you?
Because everybody is different. Nobody's the same in darts. I can guess. I normally guess it right, but sometimes I do get it wrong and tell somebody, probably better try lighter dart and it doesn't work. But, I get people coming here and they've had the same darts and had the same technique for years, and then I just put the technique right and the darts right, and there's nothing better than, and I've had it loads of times where people's never hit a 180, and literally I can see where they're going wrong. I just tell them where they're going wrong, I explain where they're going wrong and why the last dart is going wrong, and then I'll walk back in the shop and then they come running in, I've hit a 180 for the first time ever, and I'm going, yeah, because you listened. That's how you want it. Darts is pretty simple, but you definitely need somebody to help you and get that right dart, not just the right dart, but getting the right technique and the right mentality behind it. It's pretty simple darts, but if you get anything wrong, you quite simply ain't going to make it, or it's going to take you a lot longer to make it. So again, that's one thing I love in my job, is somebody coming in here, maybe low on confidence, and we've had quite a few low on confidence, and we just tweak things. If it's just his dart, not necessarily the technique as such, but your mental approach. And again, if you can get somebody to go from 70 average to 80 average within a month, and we've done it, that for me is great. And somebody coming in and about something, they come in a few months later and say, I've just hit my highest ever average at Super League, and you know that you played that little part and you've made their life happier, because everybody wants to win at darts, nobody wants to lose. So again, if we can get our job right here, that's it. That does me. You know what I mean? We don't get paid for doing that job. We do all that for free. And
I hope it came across in the video which we actually did, because, like I say, it was genuine. Like everything what you saw, it was actually where we are filming currently. Was genuine. It's like first time you were telling us all these stories, and unfortunately, a lot of these stories I had to cut out for attention rate on the YouTube and stuff. They don't, people cut off, unfortunately, after a certain amount of time and stuff. So I had to really get it down. Hence the reason why we're here today doing the podcast, because Karl had so many stories to tell. I thought it's really important to me as a person, again, trying to spread a message of trying to inspire people to get into the game, or potentially inspiring people to get into the game. But yeah, literally I came in and I think I threw a few darts, and you went straight away, no, not right for you then. No. And I'm like, how do you know? Like, what is? You've used some sort of like mind reader? Like, what's wrong with you?
I watch for where you're going wrong. I'm not even bothered about anybody where they're going. If they're going right, I know they're going right. So my job is just to watch people see just where they go wrong. You know what I mean? Especially all the youth players we help out. I don't help them a lot. I just see where they're going wrong, explain it. Sometimes at the academy, I'll video them throwing, and I'll video a good player throwing on the stage. So again, it's just what you learn. I've been doing it 23 years now, 18 years in here. So you just learn, you can see where people's going wrong. Just sometimes it's only 3 darts. I can't say I can do that for everybody, but I can watch 3 darts, 6 darts, and I can just see where they're going wrong. I can see.
So do you get a buzz out of helping people more than, because it's more than a shop, this? You sell stuff, yes, first and foremost, but seeing what you're like, not only with myself, but with other customers, you'd be happy to have a brew. You constantly, the first time I came in, do you want a brew? You're saying that to other people who are just coming into your shop just to have a little look around and stuff. So do you get more of a buzz out of the customer service side than just selling?
Oh, more miles more, yeah. It's just we've never really been interested in money or things like that. Not one person in here gets a penny more for selling more stuff. Everybody has to get the right stuff for the customer. So I mean, it is my pet hate. Some of my customers, I love all my customers, but the ones I actually don't like as much are the ones that come in and say, I want them darts because they're pretty and they're £100 or whatever they are. And I go, no, please, just try the £30 range first. Try, get the right dart. I mean, that is my job, and that's.
So you're downselling. You're doing the opposite of what most people try and do in the shop.
No, £100 darts won't make you better. Hey, they are fantastic. The darts these days are amazing. You've seen them, and there's more coming out Saturday and more coming out at the end of the month from Target, and they are absolute beauties. And I like them. I love them myself, but if I throw them and they're horrible or they don't work, I'd never ever throw them ever. So that's what I tell my customers: try other darts as well. Don't just try the £100 ones. Try the others, because that set of darts is there for you. Because we've got 800, and hopefully by Christmas we're going to go over 1,000 sets of darts in here, which is a lot, and every one of them are different. And my staff have to know what they are. And people say, I want a rear grip front weighted, and you could. It's harder. It's a harder and harder job for us lots by the year, because we've got to find them darts. We've got to know in that 1,000 sets of darts in the shop. We've got to go straight to them and find that dart that customer wants. But again, that's our job. That's what we do best, and we want to get that right dart for the customer. And if I do that, I don't care what price is. If we've got the right dart for him and the flying right, and again, you might get the right dart and get the wrong flight and stem, and the flight and stem might make your dart not fly right or not feel comfortable. So you've got to get all that lot mixed together. And if we can get that right flight, stem, and dart for my customers, and they go out of there and they're hitting the 20 at near enough every time, and the whole game has improved. The dart's one thing, obviously there's other things behind it, but if we can do that, that's job done for me, you know what I mean? Don't care what they spend, you know what I mean? But obviously we've got a great reputation and lots of people come back. I've got customers in here who must have bought 500 sets of darts, as daft as it sounds, over the years, obviously not in one go. And they just love buying different darts and trying them out. But then they have other customers who just buy flights and stems every month, and they've had the same darts for 10, 15 years, including myself. I've never changed my dart, really. Well, I've got 2 sets, but I don't change them because I don't need to. They're nice. I know they work for me, you know what I mean? They're not, I'm not the best player in the world, but they work for me, you know what I mean? And that's, in a nutshell, that's my job, to get the right equipment for everybody, no matter who they are. Johnny Vegas has been here. I've got kitted him out, and a few of the ex-Great Britain rugby league players and things, and the Saints team. They come in here for equipment, and and the big forward Pazza, he come in for the darts.
Big passy plays, does he?
Yeah, he plays.
He's some boy, that lad, I tell you.
And he come in, and he couldn't throw with light darts. He wanted heavy darts, but he's a pretty big lad anyway, and he doesn't throw soft. And that's where I was in the shop, and I could hear every dart hitting that board. Honestly, and I'm in the next room.
50 grammer?
I think there was 32, but he throws them suddenly hard. And he come in about 4 times over the next 2 weeks, because he just kept shattering his flights and stems. So I said, listen, you're going to have to get the all-in-ones, or you're going to have to change. So I give him the Condor Axes, because the others he just smashes to bits, because he throws like a rocket. And the 32 grams, and he was breaking a stem every other throw. So we've kitted him out with what he needs, you know what I mean? So I like to help them famous people, and I think somebody from Man United come in. I forgot who he is now. My grandson went, "Oh, it's him," and I'm going, "Who's he? I don't know him. I don't really follow football too much, But he come, and we kitted him out, helped out, and he cracking bird. But loads of people were in the shop saying, "Oh, can I have your picture?" And I'm going, it's amazing. This, you just the people who's coming in all the time. It's never ending.
It's funny actually. You mentioned about sort of you don't know who people are, like celebrities and famous footballers coming into your shop. And I don't mean this in like a negative sense, but at the end of the day, I see these people as human beings as well. They're just very extraordinarily good at something, and I've been able to be part of teams where I've been with celebrities. I was taught as a young lad on a building site. I actually did some building work years and years ago. Carrying bricks up ladders and stuff, and I don't want to go back to that job again. That is horrific. And this old bloke, Kev, his name is. I'll name him. He probably won't be listening because he doesn't care for stuff like this. The guy who with all the money came on the building site, and everyone started changing the way they acted around this bloke. Yeah. And he says to me, if there's one lesson I can teach you in life, if there's one thing you actually listen to me about, because I weren't keen for listening to many people back in the day. He said, promise me something that you'll never change about. It doesn't matter who that person is. Don't change who you are as a person. And I've always carried that on with everything I do. Like, with this person you're seeing today and listening to, is the person you'll see in real life. And I feel like it's a very key message. And you are the prime example for this. You're exactly the same. Doesn't matter where, if you're in your shop. I've seen you around the place, you know, up in the academy and stuff like that. I feel like you carry very similar values to this as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, when I run the academy, of course, which is a big task, 12 years in the making, should we say that. When I walk around that room now, I'm lucky I've got a good team behind me. So their job is to run the kids. My job is to walk around the room, watch how them kids throw, see if they're going wrong. So obviously keep an eye on anybody being silly, because darts can hurt if you're not being careful. Again, luckily we've never had an injury at the academy in 12 years, which is amazing, and 17 dart balls up there. So when I walk around that room, I talk to everybody the same. I talk and listen to them, and I just think that's the key to that darts academy. Is obviously the great committee that we've got and the people run it are the key. The only reason we can carry on is because of them, and they do a fantastic job. So while they're doing their job, I can walk around the room, chat to people, see if anything's right, see what's wrong, and get good ideas off the people in the room, or even chat to them about ideas. And I always try to chat to everybody, you know, just not one. I've got a few that we love in there. I've got a few very good friends in there, but I like to chat to every single person in that room. Maybe not obviously on the same night. I'll spend time with them, explain what we're trying to do, and explain what we want your kids to do. And we explain that once they get good, that's when I can help them out a bit further, whether financially or, you know, with support from a darts company, or, you know, and explain, you know, just how you make it in darts. Like Luke, I learned a lot off him. I learned a hell of a lot because he went just so good so quick. I was always in talks with him and his dad, and I was talking, and he was explaining what actually happens, you know, what's happening and all that. You know, so
leave Luke. Don't talk about
for a bit.
Karl,
yeah.
Don't talk about him. That's our trump card towards the end of the show. All right.
Yeah, but I was just saying, like, I learn off everybody as well. That's how I become me, because I learn off them as well. You know, not just them learning off me. I can teach them lots of things, but all these people learn me stuff. You know, and obviously been involved with bunting and chising, things like that in the past. I know how darts really works. I know what you need to do, what you shouldn't be doing, and it's just learning all them things. That's how I become who I am, just by trying my best in life, trying to give me all to every single person on equal terms. You know what I mean? And I treat every one of them kids exactly the same as the others. You know what I mean? Until they get to 18, then 11, like happened that weekend in Southport. We had a tournament there, and one kid said, "I'm 18 now, Karl, there's a pint." I was like, "Get in." I was like, "Get in."
Perks of the job, eh?
Yeah, perks of the job.
That's what it's all for, isn't it? At the end of the day, is when they get to 18, they can just start buying you beer.
Yeah,
and fair play to you as well.
Yeah, I do tell them don't drink. Yeah, so never ever drink. And if you do drink, never drink the night before. That's an horrendous thing to do. I've seen some top players do it, and it's failed drastically on them. And I've watched them play darts the next day because they was enjoying themselves, should we say. And they're absolutely woeful the following day, and they're going to win it on the night. And you shouldn't do it. Just don't drink at all. Again, one thing I love about go to the PDC. When it first started, I used to be going. Alan Tabham was the first play we ever sponsored, and we went watching him in Wigan when he won. I think he beat Mason, and he beat him in the final, and that was massive for Alan. And I think he won £3,500. You know, I think.
When was this, back in the day?
Yeah, I think 3,000 he won. Yeah, that was what you won. I think it's 15 now. So again, I've gone in there watching Alan Tam, see how he prepares and and there was hundreds of beer glasses. And I remember when it went to 3 days event, went to PDC, I won't do it, come back. You know, when they started doing that, and one of the dart players said, "Do you know, I can't do this." He said, "I had 8 pints yesterday, I had 8 pints today. I can't drink 8 pints on a Sunday as well." He said, it's killing me. And I was laughing. And the PDC officials going, "Well, this is what we're going to be doing for the rest of you. Get used to it." But the reason I said that is I used to see hundreds of pint glasses half empty, full of them, you know, going back years ago. But when you go in now, they hardly drink, you know, like pints. They stay away from that stuff. And it's good to see, and I love it. I mean, especially for me, one of the great things, Michael Smith, he driven to Wigan, he won £10,000 a few years back, and he'd driven back home. And that for me is a professional dart player. The olden days, it doesn't work. It doesn't make you much better at darts, you know. And that's what I love about darts, how it's changing. And I try and instill that into the academy kids. Don't be getting drunk, or especially night before. If you need to drink, but don't do it. Don't do it night before.
Are you scared that with it becoming a little bit more professional, we might lose what we spoke about before in terms of darts players being just blokes, essentially? They're just nice people. They are just the normal everyday person you could walk past in the street. Are you scared that potentially could become a thing?
I think because darts has gone to a new level, you know, and obviously darts has been going to a new level every year. It's getting more and more professional. I think there's a possibility of that. The only thing with darts is still 95 or 99% of them are people that start off at academies and go to pubs. So the normal people, they meet, they communicate and talk to you, and then they go to the pubs or Super League, then county, and obviously JDC as well. That's a great way to start your darts if you're young. So I don't think that I'll go as such, but I understand, like, when they go to the Premier League of darts, and I mean, I remember Grand Slam of darts. Brian Woods, we helped out once, and Brian Woods got beat, and then he went sat in crowd, and everyone's having pictures took with him. And you know what? I was like, well done, Brian, you know. And everybody was on the picture took with him, and the people buying him a drink and, like, you know, and saying, "Oh, good luck, Brian," and chatting to him. That's all banned now. They can't do that. So it is. It's probably banned for the right, because if somebody loses, and you've seen on social media, they blame him. They think it's match fixing. Some of them are absolute idiots, but that's the way it goes. You know what I mean? And again, they them players, aren't they, playing Premier League? I know when Chizzy made his debut there, and I said, "Oh well, we're going out, whatever," and he said, "I can't. Security's got to take him to the hotel, and then he can leave and be released, because obviously you're a superstar. People recognise on the street, and if somebody's put £1,000 on you winning and you lost, you might get abuse off them, especially if they come out the venue and they're drunk." Yeah. So again, that professional's good with the amount of money involved, but also it does have them negative things, it just makes it they can't communicate with the people or the fans, you know. And that's what I used to love about the BDO. And in the BDO, all the players mixed with all the fans all the time, and it was unique. That has had to stop for them reasons I mentioned before, you know. So it'll never go. It will. What you know about it will never go. But it has changed. Whether it's for the better or the worse, I don't know. But if you ever meet these top players, and from what I've witnessed anyway, every time they will, unless they're just due to go on playing darts, and obviously the players don't like talking to anybody before. They won't do signatures and things like that. But after, 9 out of 10 are perfect, you know, and I just find they're all good as well. When I'm backstage or when I go to the PDC floor events, brilliant. Every top player in the world, and you can go and talk to them, have a chat with them, you know, not before they're going on, but when they've played and maybe won, and just worm in and just have a little chat. You know what I mean? I love that when they're saying, but I respect them as well. I won't go mad at them before they go on, because you don't, you know, because they are professional. That is their job. Yeah. I would hate like just to jump in and what was he on about? Go away, I've got a job to do. You know, I'd hate lose somebody £10,000 because I was mad at him. So again, that's a closed circuit. The PDC, nobody's allowed in. Only, I think you get 2 guests. And again, it's people still don't know that you know, my customers come in here, they think, oh, PDC's all cheering and shouting and drinking and having fun. But when you go on the floor events, you're not allowed to shout, you know. And you know, somebody did a 9 dart. I remember that was in Wigan, and this fella stood behind the barrier, and it's a closed venue, you know what I mean? You can't walk in, you can't buy a ticket. There is no tickets. And he went, yes. And he was so happy that his mate had hit a 9 darter, and security grabbed him and took him outside. And he's going, what? You can't shout yes, because you're putting the people off who's playing on the next board to you. So that's what darts is like now. It's super quiet. It's very boring compared to what it used to be like. But it's a job, and they've got a job to do, you know. And as you know, if you do well on them floor events, it puts you into other events where you're playing for hundreds of thousands of pounds. So it's important. It's not like it used to be, where they're just drinking and making a noise and being silly, like's happened in the past. You know, the PDC have stopped that, which I think it's good, because they're very professional. You know, there's no arguing. They just play darts. there's nobody putting you off. There's nobody shouting. There's no cheering. You know what I mean? There's no slamming down your darts on the table because you can get a fine for that. So the players can get fined for doing anything. And if anybody says anything in that room or shout, you literally everybody's head twists. If you hear a noise, everybody twists their head and looks in and say, "Who's that?" You know. So again, that's the way darts is going, but it has to go that way.
Yeah, I suppose there's good and there's bad to everything, isn't there? You know, I don't like promoting sort of the olden days of darts where you used to see them drinking on stage and getting pissed, and the old beer bellies and stuff. But then there is that element of, if it goes too commercial and money becomes the biggest driver for the darts players, that I'm hoping that darts players, like you say, they come from normal backgrounds, the majority of them, that it would never come to that. But there is that element that it could become that. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, for darts' sake, that you can still see a Michael Smith, a Luke Littler in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, and you'd still be able to sort something. It's actually a nice sort of segue into it. My family from Australia came over recently, and we went to watch Saints versus Warrington in the Challenge Cup this year. I don't want to talk about the result. Luke Littler was dead happy in the crowd, let me tell you. But as you know, Mike Smith goes to the majority of the games. He usually stands in the same spot every game. And we've never actually had an interaction because, again, my mantra is he's there to watch Saints and he's with his family. So as much as I respect Mike, you know, I also respect the fact that, you know, but I do also get that people, for them, when they see the hit, because being honest, he's people's heroes, you know. You know, that's the second to you know, speak to that person, say hello. And my family from Australia, I said to them, I said, Mike Smith's over there. And he couldn't believe it. He was like, no way. You're joking, Mike Smith? And I said, yeah. I said, go up and they were in a different stand. He might, if he's listening to this now, he might actually remember the interaction. And he's a big lad, this Aussie lad. And he's like, I'd say he's mid-40s. I don't actually know how old he is. And he's a big lad, and he's shouting Mike Smith as if like he's this kid. Oh, Mike! And he gets Mike's attention, and Mike comes over and has a picture with him, and they stood there chatting for 5 minutes. And he comes over like this happy school kid. He's like, oh, I've just had a picture with Mike Smith. And it was, it amazed me because, like, as I say, I wouldn't ever go out of my way to interrupt somebody if they're having fun.
Oh, especially if they're having a meal or something.
There is that element. And I suppose there's another story, actually, before I get your take on this. I was in Cork Airport once, and so I'm a big... Well, in recent years, I've not watched football as much because of the politics and all, money and stuff like that. But when I grew up, you know, the likes of Roy Keane and the old Man United team were at the forefront of the game. And I was just sat down on this chair, minding my own business. Next minute, Roy Keane walks past me, and I'm like this. I was like my Australian cousin,
and you're like,
and I just went, I was young at this point, and this taught me this valuable lesson. And I went, nice to meet you. And he just like looked at me, as if to say like, who are you? And a lot of people might get a bit angry at that and go, oh, what are this, that, and the other? I won't swear on here. We'll try and keep it PG. But for me, that's who Roy is. You know, you see him on ITV and he's having it out with his fellow professionals on telly. And for him, I got it. You know, all he wants to do is he just wants to go from point A to point B without getting mithered. And you see that, don't you? Karl told me this story. He was bragging the other day when I came in. And you don't know what's coming now, but he was going, oh, there was this time where I had an opportunity to get a picture with somebody very special. Now, do you want to tell the audience all about that?
Yeah, I think when I see all these pictures and all these opportunities,
which is why I mentioned it, by the way. I didn't get to the actual crux of the stories because Karl's got thousands of pictures in here with many people. Yeah,
again, if I didn't take them pictures, I wouldn't have any pictures, and that's it. And I remember we went to Mike Tyson. I was like, I'm not a big boxing fan, but I loved Mike Tyson. He was an animal, wasn't he? He was the best boxer in the world. I managed to get 2 VIP tickets. Somebody had 2 spare, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got to see him. And then I went over and shook hands with him, and everybody had a picture, and I just shook hands with him. And I always remember saying, what have I done? I'm never going to see him ever again, and I've not took that picture. So if you do see a superstar, say to him, could I have a picture taken, please? Just be nice to him. And with darts, please, at least 999 times out of 100, they'll do it. They'll do it for you. So if you have an opportunity, get a picture with him, say hello. If it's Roy Keane, just ask him. If he says not now, don't be offended. Get out there.
That's the key.
Get out there and get try and get your pictures took, because it's great.
I think there's a time and a place as well. I suppose you had that opportunity when Mike was doing a talk, I suppose, wasn't it? Was that Haydock Racecourse you said it was? Yeah. So I suppose he's there for a reason. He's there to entertain people. But there is that element of, when you see these guys and they're out with the families having a meal somewhere, and you get these folk who were like, oh, can I get? And you're just like,
no,
I'm just out with my family.
That's a no for me as well. I definitely, no matter who it was, I definitely will. And maybe wait till he's going to the toilet, then jump all over it, get your picture took with them then. But when they're having a meal and things, they deserve that bit of peace there, But
it's
I think
just respect, isn't it, more than anything?
Yeah, and I know all the dart players and everything, and I said they're happy with pictures, you know what I mean? And again, if nobody was interested in taking pictures with your Mike Smith, your Chizzies, Bunt, whoever it may be, if nobody wanted pictures, darts won't be interested. Darts won't be popular, but it's very popular now. So people, and I get loads of people going, grown men, kids, you name it, everybody comes in this shop, everybody. And the amount to say, I absolutely love that player. He's brilliant, Tim. And I get people who call, every one of these top players we mentioned there, I get people coming in the shop saying, oh, he's crapping, or and they're allowed their opinion.
Absolutely.
And I do get every opinion about every player. And people say things about, I've heard people say things about Steve, and Steve Bunting, and I'm going, you were talking rubbish. He's the nicest lad I've ever met. And you think, how can you, they just think it because they see something on TV and they know him inside out, and I think that's just the general case with some people that allow their opinion, but whether the opinion's right or totally wrong is it's not for me to say, is it? You know what I mean?
It's really interesting because, again, I mean this with the goodness of my heart, and listen to the story before you judge me on this one, that one of the most controversial players within the world of darts has always been Adrian Lewis. There's been a few times where on stage he's kicked off with players and stuff like that.
He's done a few times, Lewis, but Lewis, again, anybody knows him well, they love it. Absolutely cracking player. But again, whether it's it's happened a few times with Lewis, whether it's the other player, knowing that Lewis is a nice, caring person and he doesn't like being cheated, he hates that, as Peter Manley pointed out once.
Well, he's recently done something. The reason why I mentioned this, because we were kind of getting onto this subject, was he's recently done something with Wayne Mardle, and he was talking about kind of the situations, and I'm always under the understanding that if somebody acts out of character, like you say, you know of him or you know him, and he's a nice person. He came across really nice on camera, and I know everybody can do that on camera. They can come across as being a nice person, but he talks about family problems. Obviously, he took a step back from darts for reasons which the general public don't know about. He's kept that to himself, and of course, people have different ways of dealing with stuff, and of course, maybe something that was how Lewis dealt with it, I suppose.
Yeah. I said Lewis, I've talked to him many times, and the fellow professional as well, and they'll say he's a lovely person, lovely character. Again, when he kicks off at other players a few times, it's because they're playing the tactics, and Adrian Lewis doesn't like that because he wouldn't do it to them, you know what I mean? And again, that's just Adrian's when he's done anything like that, it's because he's genuinely upset about what that player's doing. You know what I mean? And I've known him a long time, and I hope he comes back because he's a big character in darts.
He did talk on that he'll be doing a bit on the Modus next year.
Yeah,
so that'll be good to see.
But again, people think when you become good at darts, that's it. You're good for life. I get people saying that's it's not rubbish, but it's far. You have a look at some of the great players now, and they're still playing darts, but they're nowhere near what the player was. You know what I mean? Wes Newton, for me, watched him win back-to-back players championships. I think one of only 7 players ever to do it. So he was flying up the rankings, doing well, and then he lost a bit of form, lost a bit of confidence, and I've talked to him. He's tried everything to get back to where he was, and it's not worked. Whatever he's tried, it's not worked. He's tried everything. You name it. He's tried. It just happens in dart, and it's not just him. Have a look look at all these great players. Paul Nicholson, another one. Paul Nicholson, looking at the background there, he was flying through the rank. He beat Eddie Lewis in the last day to the World Championships, and we were supporting him at the time. And and everyone thought this Nicholson was going to make again. He got there, but then all of a sudden he lost a little bit of form, and 2 years later, not even in the PDC, and that's it. He's gone. Never been able to get back, and so's Wes. And Wes would love still to get back, because he's still not that old. You know what I mean? But in darts, you just don't. There's only a few selected. Your Phil Taylors and your Chizzies and that. And Chizzy's still flying. Chizzy's been one of the best players in the world.
Just won.
Yeah, he's just won again. He's number 1 in that rankings, and I think he's gone to number 6 in the world in the PDC. He's at number 6 in the world. He's always been up there. There's not many like Chizzy, and Chizzy's famous for not winning a major, yeah. But there's not many players stay up there in the PGA. There's only a few. You have a look. There's some fantastic talent there, And I think probably Barney's one of them as well. Barney will never get back. I don't think ever in the top 10. I don't think he'll ever do it, But they keep trying, and they keep trying. And Alan Tabin last night, everyone said he was no good. He was number 6 in the world. He's one of the greatest ever from this town. And he plays
in the pub just up the road from here.
He plays, he's still playing Super League for the town, has been for 35 years now, you know what I mean? That's testament for me, for great dart play. And Alan Tabin still would love to be up there in the PDC, but he's not quite good enough no more. Fair enough, he checked out 161 last night, 218s.
Not very good.
218 and a 15 dart leg in the pub league, and he's no good no more. You know what I mean? But
it's obscene, isn't it? So when I'm hitting 35 dart legs in my kitchen,
yeah, and again,
I'm a bit off.
Yeah, but again, he's a legend in this town, Alan. But again, obviously, he was the number 1 in this town without a doubt. But then obviously Chizzy come along and Bunting as well and things like that. And Mike Smith, of course, So there's certainly some good talent in this town without a doubt.
It's a mad one, really, isn't it? Because St Helens is tiny in comparison to some of the towns around here. Wigan's bigger. You've got some massive cities, but you've had some incredible people. I've wrote it down here. Just a few: Rick Astley, Johnny Vegas, Jacqueline Abbott, and Martin Murray. Obviously,
yeah, Martin Murray. Yeah.
And Martin Murray. He was robbed of a world championship, not once but twice. Unbelievable. So for me, he should have been a world champion. He's a quality boxer, lovely family man as well. From Par.
Yeah.
I used to work in Par. I did.
His mum was my wife's friend. Yeah.
It's obscene to me that a town so small in St Helens has got such a big reputation in sport. Obviously one of the best rugby league teams in the world. And then on top of that, you've got some unbelievable darts players who come through the ranks in little tiny St Helens.
Yeah, it's been a few good ones, yeah.
Just on that point, one of my all-time favourite memories, and it was probably it was when I really sort of started to take note of darts, was the very famous leg. Probably this is my favourite memory, and I'll ask you yours in a second, was Mike Smith versus Michael van Gerwen. And it was everything in that leg was just spot on. You had Mardle's commentary, Michael may hit, Michael may miss, and Michael may hit. Yeah. And then Van Gerwen and the sportsmanship from Smith, if you see it, after Van Gerwen misses the double 12, he gives him a little bop on the hand and he composes himself and then he takes it out. And it was one of them moments where I, as a darts fan, I've watched darts for years. I love the game. I think I'm one of them people who just enjoys sport. I enjoy people against people, but I also enjoy the camaraderie. And darts and rugby league especially, they kick 7 bells of shit out of each other for 80 minutes, and then after that 80 minutes they're shaking each other's hand. And for me it was like, I watched that leg of darts and I still get happy when I think about it now, and it was just phenomenal.
There's a few things. Obviously I wanted Michael Smith to win,
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's St Helens and we was involved with him when he was young and things like that. And my dad, Michael Smith used to pedal his bike to my dad's house. My dad used to coach him for free. So again, that's probably where I got a little bit of my ideas from, was off my dad. And one thing that stands out with that leg is my dad very rarely phones me and boasts about darts. He's watched it. He's done everything. He's won everything. He's been involved with the best players in the world, up to an extent. He's done county Super League, and he's done everything. And he rung me up after that, and I was in the Woodlands pub when he won, of course. And he said, "Son, I can't believe that." He said, "I've been watching darts for 60 years." He said, "I've never got that excited watching a leg of darts." And my dad said very rarely. And he was so happy, So I was chuffed for Mikey's family winning World Championship, but that leg again, and going back to, we were with two lads, a lot of us was like praying Mike won. And when MVG missed that double 12, we was gutted. And it was one of them. And so again, I think darts is that way. You appreciate good darts, and when I go to the venues, you can support both players, but I genuinely wanted MVG at that double 12. It might have lost Michael Smith the World Championship, and then he sort of forgot he was on the 9 because he was like, "Go on, hit it!" Oh, and we was like, "Oh no, he's missed." And then Mike hits that. I thought, "No way!" And then "Bully boy," whatever he said. And then when he sunk that, it was like just the whole pub erupted. Like
Well, my missus,
everybody went.
My missus was never into darts.
And again, it's same as you're going to say there is some of them people was jumping up and down. They're not even asked about darts, but there was just. And it was just.
But there's moments like that in sport where you think, I can't think off the top of my head exactly what it'll be, but there's moments in sport where stuff like extraordinary stuff like that happens, and it doesn't matter whether you're into that sport or not. You'll watch it and you'll go, "Wow, that is a hair-raising moment." Karl had to have his 5th coffee of the day, so we just had to put a stop in there. And we was talking about sort of favourite memories within the game of darts. I don't suppose you're going to struggle to give me a few, are you?
I've got. As you get older, you have new favourite memories. I think my greatest memory of darts, obviously watching Eric Bristow, just unbelievable. So he was
a little bit before my time, but I know who Eric
Bristow was absolutely the best in the world. Nobody near him, there was a lot of good players, but he was the best. But then I was watching the darts with my dad one afternoon, and John Moore did that 9-darter, and my dad again was really excited, jumping up and down. It's like your favourite football teams winning 3-0 at Wembley, with the goal of the year, and it's like that. That was a good memory for me because I was with my dad, spending time with him, and just him. He never got excited. My brother was first youth champion, and we'd be playing really well. We'd both be averaging in the 70s or our max sometimes, well in the 80s, even 90s sometimes. And then we'd say, "Come on, Dad, have us a game." My dad would go in the garage and just smash us. And then he'd sit back down with his copper and read paper, and you're going, "How's he do that? We've been practicing all afternoon." He just sat there and he smashed us. But so there's lots of good memories. And I think, obviously, Phil Taylor was at 111.67 average in the final. Against James Wade. I mean, that for me, 2 9-darters in the same game. How's he done that? There's players never done a 9-darter, and they've been playing for decades. Very good players never done 9-darters, and yet Phil manages to do 2. 111 average. Poor James Wade must have been like, "What can I do to win it?" James Wade over 100 average, he got absolutely smashed.
One of those, isn't it, where you're happy to be in final, and you look at you're against, you go Phil Taylor, you go, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
And again, then I think. I was at Blackpool and I watched Wes Newton do his 9-dart, and I did the video. The crowd were interested in Wes. I wanted to see what the crowd was, and I've got still on my phone somewhere, a cracking video. The crowd, the way they go up a little bit, more, and then they just go, their arms everywhere. And then I think older memories as well have got big, again, these are my favourites. I can't have one favourite, and I think, Chizzy being in the World Championship final, and Martin Adams beat him with his highest ever average, Martin Adams, which he had to do it to beat Chizzy, and he knew it, you know what I mean? So that was a very proud moment. And Mike Smith being world champion, that was very proud moment. And going back to that leg in that game also was just amazing, just the best leg of darts ever, full stop. And there's been hundreds of millions of legs in there, you know what I mean? Maybe another one as well, a good friend of ours, Brendan Dolan, he's known as the history maker. Just by chance, we sponsored him. I dropped one at Plays off who was staying in my house, dropped something at Wigan for the PDC floor event, and I was talking to Brendan. I said, Brendan, so who sponsors your event? Oh, nobody's interested in me. I said, well, I am. I'll sponsor you. So I sent him a box of dartboards and some shirts, just because nobody sponsored him. And it was just by chance. And then 3 months after that, I think it was 2 months after, I sent him the shirt. He said, oh, they're nice shirts, these. So I said, oh, good luck. And he qualified for the playing in Dublin. He did the first ever 9-darter with our shirt on. Nice. I mean, that was so proud moment for me because nobody's interested in him. And I've got massive publicity, which I didn't do it for publicity.
You got the picture on the wall?
Yeah, I've got the shirt. There's a picture. He gave us a shirt. So again, testament to how nice of a person Brendan is. But to do a 9-darter, starting in the double, the first one ever, again, that's unique. You know, I've got that shirt. There's only one of them in the world. You know, somebody said, get insured. I said, well, nobody can ever sell it because it's stolen. There's only one. Yeah. There's only one. You know what I mean? So, again, that was another fantastic memory again. And obviously, Luke making the final, win the Premier League result. I've got so many good memories, you know. Every one of them are special, you know. Every one of them are very special to me. And I don't know how they're going to top all them things I just mentioned. I don't know. Something will come along because every few years something stupid happens, done it. You know what I mean? And
the beauty of sports, I suppose.
And some of these top dart players here, you know, they're actually a lot better in practice than you see them on TV. Not all of them. Some are actually better on TV. Again, that's your mental approach. But some of these players are capable of over 120 average. There's quite a few of them capable of that, and they can do it. But trying to do it on TV under that pressure, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's much harder to do. So, but I do think you'll see this year one of the top players. I think you'll see 120 something, a stupid average. They've done it on the floor events, but I think on TV, I think you're going to see it in the coming years.
The only thing I think of sometimes though, when you kind of like looking at them TV events, take the Premier League of Darts for example, they're on these massive, great big stages, and you see them sometimes, and they're doing this. Because of the wind and stuff like that. Whereas I suppose when you're in these kind of confined rooms, that doesn't play a part, does it?
Yeah. It has happened quite a few times. Yeah, I know it happened at Winter Gardens. It happened at another venue once where it was too hot, so they opened the door. But what happened then is it created a draft. So have you got the warmer and your colder all combining, and
get your heavier darts.
And the darts were literally. But these dart players are so good. They know there's something wrong, you know, and they have even suspended the play until they stop the draft.
I suppose like some of them are using Bunting. Didn't he use?
He was using 11 point. He won the World Championships with 11.7 gram. Yeah.
So like any wind or anything like that, it's
that's my other special moment. Steve Bunting winning that final. That was again really special to me, and knowing Steve really well, him win that World Championship. Just I knew how much it meant to him because Steve. He spent all his life wanting to be world champion, you know, and he knew he had the ability, but he's just probably his mental ability wasn't quite right for it, you know, for them years. But again, he learnt. It took him a while, you know, and like Mike Smith come along. It took him a long time before he became a very good player or an excellent player, you know. Chizzy was another fantastic player. I watched him play when he was 18. Like, wow, he's good. 2 years later, one of the best players in the world. You know, when he was 20, he was up there, but wasn't playing proper darts. He was playing county, you know. And I think Chizzy still has the record. Yeah, he does for Lancashire. I think he won 23 games on the bounce for your counter. That's at a very, very high level to do that. I think he took it off Alan Warner. Alan Warner held it before then. But again, that's how you're developing your darts. But Chizzy just did it. He become very fast. He become very good, very quick, you know. And he was playing in the Super League team. And he was banging in 90 and 100 averages.
How does it always baffles me how when you listen to people and they talk about sports people, you just said the Chizzy became very good, very quick. Mm-hmm. How? Like, why? Is that just pure practice? Like, are they playing against good people?
Yes, that playing against good players, and you've got to win. You want to win. And I think Chizzy, and it probably happened with me up to an extent and things when I was younger. He's got a few brothers who think they're better than him at darts. Yeah, one of them still thinks he's better. The real Chiz, Jay Chisnall. He's the real Chiz. He'll tell you he's the real Chiz, and he tells you every time he talks to him. And he never he tells you every single. I don't think he's never said it to me. I'm the real Chiz. And again, he used to play. Dave used to play against his brothers. They used to play for like 20p or whatever it was, and they used to take it so seriously. But again, he had to win against everybody because he's not letting his brothers beat him. And I think that helps you in darts. And if you look at all your greatest players, they're like working class or lower class, if you know what I mean. Most of the dart players like that.
Yeah.
And it's that mentality that you need. You need that instilled into you, you know what I mean? Yeah. I can't think of one dart player who comes off a very rich family, and I can't. But I think darts is changing again. It is changing. I found that in a shop. I see some massive cars out there, you know, that cost more than my house, and I'm like, my God, look at that! And rich people, I think, we want to play darts, yeah. and then they're getting involved massively now, which again, that's good,
yeah.
You know. But I said, just you need that winning mentality. You hate losing. You know, if you like I used to play against our Mark, my brother. He made me way better than what I would have been if I was just the only child. I wouldn't have made it in darts unless my dad played with me all the time. She was say, you know what I mean. So you need that. You need that winning mentality, and you need that mentality that says you're not going. I mean, I mentioned to you, I do a bit of crown green balls, and when I focus, when I put my mind to it, I am really hard to beat. But if my mentality's not right one day, I've had a stressful day at work or with my family or something going wrong, I just can't bowl for buttons. So your mind, again, I said Steve Bunting worked here for 6 years. He'll only become world champion when he left. If he stayed working here, I don't think he'd have ever been world champion. Or in the BDO, I don't think he'd have ever done that. But because he was working, yeah, he needed the money to play the darts, but obviously now...
Loosely working.
Yeah. You know, I don't think Steve ever hurried up apart from when we seen a wasp one day in the office. I seen him run past me. I've never seen him do that before. He was gone. He doesn't like wasps. He'll tell you that himself. No, but again, you need the right mentality. You can't be working hard, finishing work, say, I've got to go to PDC now. I've got to travel to Germany in the morning. And you've got to be, you know what I mean? I've spoke to like Luke's dad and things like that. And they've only been going 9 months and they've had enough of the travelling now and they've been everywhere. You know, so it really, same for the other players as well, but it is tough, it is hard, and it's a learning curve, you know. So them things, you've got to be prepared right, mentally right. I mean, I've talked to Phil Taylor in depth because I run the academy, especially when I was at Target launch, and I try to get every bit of info out of him, and he prepares every single game, every person. He works them out, he sees how they play, how fast they are, how slow they are, and he practices before that. He'll be practicing for that week. If he's playing something World Championship, he'll have a look at him and watch, see how he plays, who he is, and he'll work out. So then he knows what he's got to expect on that stage, and he prepares himself for that game. You know, if he's on in the afternoon, he'll be up at 6 in the morning. You know what I mean? He'll be up early. Because you can't be waking up. You can't be waking up at dinner time and playing darts at 5. You know, you're still half asleep. You know what I mean? Not fully focused. So you've got to get all them things right in your game at that level, in particular. You know, you've got to get everything right.
So Phil Taylor, that's really interesting. I just, again, this is me being very unknowledgeable in the game of darts. I just assumed they picked up the darts and just walked on stage and threw against that person. But you're telling us all that these darts players, they're preparing, almost like a football team as such. They'll prepare for that player who they're going to be playing against. Yeah. Down to the little nuances of how long they prepared to stand behind them at the hockey. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Because if you're playing somebody who's very slow, you want to be practicing and taking maybe that 2 seconds.
It makes complete sense.
Yeah, just take 2 or 3 seconds longer. When you walk back the hockey, just hold on for a few seconds and go to and they've got to prepare for playing that play. So when they go on stage, everything's natural then, and that's the way it is. I mean, I think Phil Taylor took it to that next level. He worked it out. I remember Mike Smith beat Phil Taylor and he bowled him, didn't he? He bowled him, and I was like, yeah. And I always remember what it was when that happened, like, you know, and the whole pub erupted because Mike Smith beat Phil, and Mike Smith nearly run off the stage. He didn't know what to do because he beat Phil Taylor. Nobody beat Phil Taylor. I think Mike was the first player in history to beat Phil Taylor in like the second round, whatever it was. He'd never got beat in them early rounds, you know what I mean? And if you listen to Phil Taylor, when people interviewed him months down the line, this happened, and it's a Phil Taylor, and you had that unfortunate blip in the World Champ where Mike Smith he would bowl He said, yeah. And if you listen to that interview, he said, yeah. He said, but I know where I went wrong there. I know where I went wrong. I didn't prepare for something. It just something I didn't prepare right against him. And Phil had obviously worked out why he lost. And you could tell he was annoyed that he lost to him.
Yeah.
Not because Mike didn't deserve it. It's just that he did something wrong. He didn't prepare right. So, again, Phil used to think everything through. You know, other dart players used to have a few pints, just get up and play and just, you know, I mean, you obviously know every play is different, but Phil took it to that next level. He worked everything out in his dart, where his dart landed. I know when his son was talking to his son, asked him how's everything going, blah, blah, blah. And he said, oh, yeah, I've been working on things. And he said, if my dad hits the bottom right, 9 out of 10 times at 180, so he's aiming just a little bit to the right and near the bottom wire of the treble 20.
Not just at the treble 20.
No, just in a certain area of the treble 20. But again, that's where Phil aimed, and the way his darts, and Phil was small. People try by his dart. If you're tall, you can throw Phil tail darts and throw the way Phil did. Phil used to throw them up in the air and they used to land, and if they land in the right spot, his next dart is going in treble 20. If it's landing a bit low, it's still hit his other dart and still going treble 20. Yeah. Even though it's missing, he's using his other darts to his advantage. Right. A bit like Chisnall, I know. Chisnall and Bunton were practicing for World Championships, and he was in the St Joseph Club there throwing, and I'm at so many legs of darts, and it's great and it's easy because them guys don't miss, you know. When you get somebody rubbish playing, they're the ones that's trying to add the treble 17, treble 19, you know. But with them guys, they don't miss. But Chizzy, as soon as Chizzy hits that Nate top wire, it's I'd say 8 out of 10 is a 180. If he got that dart that area and he hit 180, and they do it, they're just such good talent. But that first dart is massive, and I think prime example I used to like is MVG. I loved the way he changed things. MVG, as soon as that dart wasn't where he wanted it, if he's at top at treble 20, he's bang bang 180 all day, and he knows that. As soon as he goes a few millimetres low at treble 20, he switches treble 19, 134, and the amount of times he did that was ridiculous. You know what I mean? I remember seeing him playing in the PDC Youth when he got to the World Championships then. And he must have hit 50 134s. I watched him a lot then, you know, because it was a big game that, and he won and of course got through to Ali Pally, like, and then 134, you know, and he was ridiculous. He just never missed treble 19. So again, if you just keep throwing for treble 20, and you've got a bad market, you deserve 26 for me, or a bounce out, or a fall. I see loads of people shaking their head, and I'm shaking my head saying, you don't have fault. You should keep throwing there when it's hard to get through. Just treble 19, you know, you
said that to me in the video.
Yeah.
This was a valuable lesson. If you do go back and watch the video, I'd be happy. But there was a part where we were, obviously, first and foremost, I was getting fitted for these darts. But this is where coming into shops like this is really interesting, because you said to me, you taught me that lesson. You said you cannot physically get that dart in that treble 20. Mm-hmm. So instead of trying to force it in, you've got treble 19 down there. It's free.
Yes.
I think I went 96.
Oh,
so it went from being like 26s. You taught me this. I went from 96, 137.
Yeah, and you was probably 20% better, if not 25% better, without throwing for the highest score possible, treble 20, you know. So you've got to use your head, and these top players do that. Definitely, they use their brains. And Mike Smith, Mike Smith, when you see him practicing, when you see him in the local leagues in particular, when you watch, he goes, if he's bad lying on treble 20, he goes for 19, then he goes treble 18. And have a look at Mike. He hits a lot of scores there where he gets 93. Because he knows it's not a good lie for him, and he's probably get a bounce out or fall or it's your dart or it's in the way. You're classing it. It just doesn't work. But these top players have to learn. Well, they've learned. The top players are top players for a reason. They know all this. You know, it's just a lot of the lesser players just don't learn the lesson.
Is it repetition to become good?
Yeah, I think you've just got to keep focusing. Your focus is everything, because you watch Mike Smith when he throws up. It's lovely to watch. He goes, well, especially when he keeps still, mate. And you can see it on TV when Mike's perfectly still. He's just unbelievable.
It's like that first dart in the treble. Yeah, you know it's a 180.
Yeah. But then sometimes you see him just twist, and it's millimetres. It's literally millimetres. You see him twist a little bit, and his dart drops low, and that's just a bit of tension that is hard to stop doing. You know what I mean? You're just naturally tensed up a little bit. And it's minute. It's just 2 millimetres is the difference between a 60 and a 180. So that's the difference when you tense up or you're not relaxed, you know. But again, Phil Taylor, you say he practices 10 hours a day every day, but he doesn't physically throw darts for 10 hours a day. He does all the other preparation, get up at the right time, eating at the right time. And another thing, you get a lot of these players, and my dad included, said that don't be eating a big meal before you go playing darts. Because I think anybody listening to this, if you're in work, you have a great big meal, you try and get going again, you can't.
Yeah, sluggish.
So you go, and you're lethargic and you can't be bothered. So again, you maybe have a sandwich 2 hours before, not, you know what I mean, at most, and then just constant. You need to be up for that. You know what I mean? I suppose it's like darts is like rugby league. You won't see rugby league players going for the 3-course
slap up,
3-course Indian at 7 and kick off at 8. It doesn't work, does it? You couldn't do it. And that is the same. Obviously, it's a different sport, but you need to get your preparation correct.
Something that's dear to your heart, which you've kind of touched upon in this podcast so far, is the St Helens Darts Academy.
Yeah, well, myself and the real Chiz started it all off. The real Chiz, started off 12 years ago now. 12 years next month. So we've been doing it a long time. Again, we started simply because the kids had nowhere to play darts, and at that time they wouldn't let them in pubs. A lot of pubs wouldn't let them in. Now they've changed, thankfully. We've got at least 50 kids in and around this town, players, ex-players, playing in the leagues, probably keeping a few of the leagues going, you know what I mean? Without that, I think darts in this town would have died, you know, and we've produced some good players, you know what I mean? And I think at one stage, I think we had 18 players representing Merseyside and Lancashire youth at the same time. So basically, it was like 60% of the whole squad was from our academy. That's for the whole of Lancashire. So pretty proud that happened, you know, and obviously been very passionate about it. I run it every Monday, virtually without fail, for 12 years. The kids are happy, everybody's safe, and, you know, it's a big happy family, should we say. And I think just producing the kids we've played, you know, Eleanor Curlin's World Youth Champion and that, and we produce a lot of good players, and not just good players, but good people. I've had kids come in there with learning difficulties, this ADHD, and I've had lots of kids like that come in there, and because they're welcomed, they just naturally become good. And they had one there who literally, he's been darts captain, he's shouted on stage, finals, and when he first come to the academy, his grandma said, "Karl, he can't head up. I said, "He can." I said, "I'll help him out." So I spent a lot of time with him. Again, I spent time with him just showing how to head up and just give him confidence. And then, like I said, a few years later, he's shouting on stage, and, you know, I'm about shouting on stage, our Darts Academy as well, the main referee at Lancashire now, on stage in front of hundreds of people, is Matty Pearson. Again, he come from our academy. He'll say he's not the greatest dart player. Keeps trying to be, you know, like everybody else, you say. But he still loves his darts, and he's a cracking shouter. He's well respected in the whole of Lancashire team. Respect him and like him, you know, for who he is, and a cracking call. And he's done a few jobs for his MCing, you know. Again, so it's not just about playing darts and becoming world champion and being the best player in the world. I think darts, especially at that level, it's about enjoying it. And again, we like to give, and especially myself, give that professional advice, explain and tell kids who, because I still get kids who slam the darts down and go out crying, and they do. And the parents, I mean, I like to teach the parents, they're not my kids, but I say, listen, just leave them. Don't worry about being upset, just leave them for 5 minutes, they'll be all right. Give them 5, just because I've got used to it. And some of the parents are embarrassed when that happens, and they're like, maybe shouting, "What are you doing here? You're making us look stupid." You get that, but I do explain to them, like, just leave them for 5 minutes, come in, and they just explain it, because it works. You know what I mean? And again, I like to help that family, and I know, just because I've done it for so long, I know what them kids expect, you know. And you do get your ones who sulk and cry and get upset, you know. Some of them do it for years, but some of them in a few months, they stop doing it and just more to like, don't worry about losing. You're not a failure next week. Just keep enjoying it, you know. And again, we like doing that for the academy, just especially them kids, because maybe when they get older in life, not just darts, in other aspects in life, maybe if we can just help them to be better people and don't worry about things, you know. Just, I mean, I worry about everything. I tell them don't do it, but I'm always panicking about work and business and everything. But I tried to tell them, don't, whatever you do, don't do that. There's more to life, and just make friends. And I said, I've had kids come to that academy and they've no friends, they don't play out, and the parents said, they just play games, don't do anything. And like a few months down the line, they're laughing and joking together, and they got and they can't wait for school finish on a Monday night. So for me, that is, and that's, we've helped out probably 2,000-3,000 kids at that academy over the years. We had, when you nipped in, didn't you, Monday, there was 76 kids there.
It's obscene. So for anybody who's not been or seen the academy, you'll probably seen it on telly. It's a well-known academy worldwide. What Karl does there is unbelievable, and this is kind of why when I see stuff like this inspires me to try and get out and try and get more people into the game. And you've got kids in there. I mean, we live in an age, this day and age, Karl, where everybody's on the smartphones, everybody's on the computer games and stuff like that. On Monday night, so this will be probably a week old. So 2 weeks ago when I went in on the Monday night, I could not believe how many kids were in there. It was obscene. How many kids were in there that night? There must have been 70 kids.
There were 76 this week, yeah.
76 kids. And not only is the kids in there, you've got massive, great big long tables. And it's a community, innit? So what Karl does there is you have leagues. So is there bronze, silver, gold, and platinum?
We have 4.
And then you've got like a separate room in the back where if there's like a newbie, they'll go in that room. They'll throw, and it again they're kind of sectioned off from the rest of the group. I suppose just to get people into the game, so they're not embarrassed if they throw a few bad darts or something like that. But you see these kids, and it's hilarious, right? It's not hilarious; it's fantastic to see. But they're this size, they're barely able to look over this table here, and they're throwing the darts up at this darts table, and then they've got to get a chair to get the darts out the board. And for me, that is just unbelievable to see. I almost look at that and think, if every sport took this framework and put it into it, I feel like the world would be a phenomenal place to live. Because you get, as soon as you walk into the room, I don't personally have an idea who many people are in the room, but you'll get chatting to somebody. And before the night's out, you've made almost a friend within the game of darts, and it goes back to it's a bit of tungsten which is going in a board, and everybody's communicating again like humans. We're made for socialising, essentially, aren't we? We're not made to be alone. So the fact that you as a person, and obviously the real Chizzy, came together 12 years ago in darts, really, I suppose it's not as big, it's not as commercial as it is today. You thought, forward thinking, I want to do this for the town.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what I was thinking. I just knew we had to do something and have somewhere for the kids to play. So stay at the Woodlands pub, as it was. He used to be the landlord there. He invited us down. We said, Steve, can we start an academy? Because I said, I'm fed up of people. And Chizzy's lad called Josh, Chiz was saying, there is nowhere for the kids to play. So we put 2 dartboards up, and we got 7 kids. 7 kids the first week, and it was enjoyable. And then we got in touch with somebody from the paper, said, listen, could you do a story? I think it was 3 weeks after. And the local newspaper done an article about, and I asked Mike Smith to come along. I said, Mike, could you come along, just have photos, just for the papers? And obviously Mike was an up-and-coming player then, a very good up-and-coming player. And he was just been at PDC as well, of course. Mike had his picture took, and the week after we got 35. We was like, ooh.
It's moving.
Oops. We was like, what do we do here? So we had a word with landlords.
Still with 2 boards?
No, we got an extra 1, but 3 wasn't enough. So then I was like, what do we do here, Steve? So we got another stand 4. And in the end, the landlord said, hey, we can't carry on here. He said, all my customers are complaining. There's just kids running around everywhere. and it's a pub. It's not like a big room where not like we've got now. That room, we had 200 people in there. The Woodies couldn't hold more than 50, you know what I mean? So again, we went to 35, and it's sort of been 30 to 60 all these years, to be honest with you. And we've grown, like I said, now we've got 7, we managed to get a few more in the kitchen in the side. So we've got 17 boards up now. So we've got 3 We've got 3 practice boards, and 14 match boards, but it's needed because there's that many of them. So again, it's just developed, it's grown, and also something else, like, as you know, I like helping people out. There's hundreds of people who've helped out, but our academy's done some really good work in the communities. I mean, only Sunday, as we all know, what unfortunately happened in Southport the other month, should we say, they've run a darts event there, so we wanted to help out. So we said, we'll run, if you run the youth one on a Sunday, we'll come. So they had a big event for the adults Saturday, but on the Sunday, 21 of our kids went down with the parents and supported it, and they raised over £6,000 for their families. Also one of our ex-players at the academy, his daughter's got that like that Batten's disease, and she needed support and help, and the family wanted a break and things, and they couldn't afford anything. So I think we raised £700-800. So we had an event for them. So the academy and myself, of course, and the committee keep making these decisions. So the academy's not just the darts, it's everything else involved in the community, and the British Disabled Darts as well. It costs a fortune. If you wanted that many setups in the academy, we've got 10 main setups, all perfect. Anybody, any organisation would be proud of that setup that we have, and it is all perfect, it's all the right size, length, ideal. So every year, the British Disabled Darts hire the venue and they hire all the boards out, but they don't actually physically pay us anything. We sort of just give them. So again, all them people in wheelchairs, people who lost their legs in Afghanistan are playing darts there, and people who fell off motorbikes and lost their limbs and things. And it's great that we help all them out, and they get all for free, so they can't thank us enough. They really can't. And again, it's just putting something back into the community. We've been lucky that I know a lot of people, I know a lot of darts companies, should we say, and things like that. And we're lucky that we can afford to help other people out, So if anybody ever needs any help or there's something bad, the academy's willing to help them out, whether financially or do something or just help generally, you know what I mean? So it's I think that's probably the proudest moment of me. Forget all the great players we produce. It's producing good people and helping the community and them appreciating it as well, And I think that is, for me, that is the key to life, innit? If everybody was like us, the whole world would be perfect now, you know what I mean? If we all, looked after each other and cared for each other, we wouldn't be having all these problems in the world. And again, if I can teach all them kids to be like that and be good and care for others and enjoy life, I think I've made a change, or made people change their perspective in life. If I can do that, that for me, it's job done, innit? You know what I mean? I can't think why anybody else would want to think a different way. You've got to give your all in life and do the best, not just for the kids, for the community. So that's it. I think for the academy, that, like I said, about Luke before. I mean, just we produce so many great kids, the county players, world youth champion girl, Eleanor Kern, just Jack Bowman's, Tom Callan. There's so many we've produced, and it's not just, it's not nothing to do with financial things, nothing to do with money. It's about changing people's lives, and people do thank, because every week I get thanked in there, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, so it's great. It's great that people appreciate the efforts that you're doing.
And that is absolute testament to you as a person. I mean, this is the person who I met from day one, really. Just wanted to help. I came in, a hopeless YouTuber.
Yeah. You're doing a good job.
And I literally came in and said, look, I want to come and do a darts video. He didn't know who I was. He had no idea.
No.
I could have been anyone. And just a disclaimer, we finished the video and I went to pay for me darts, which we'd been fitted for, and Karl comes down and says, here's two boxes of darts, both signed from Luke himself, which we'll get onto Luke finally in a second. And it was, I don't expect that from any man. I'm here to pay me way as such. And you came down and it said I didn't want them, but you give them to me. You was insistent that you give them to me, and I've since given the darts away to a young chap from Liverpool, and hopefully he can get some good use out of them darts. So thank you very much for that. But yeah, that is testament to who you are as a person, really. And I've seen that firsthand, and it's going back to the academy, it's an incredible setup. It really is. You know, say it's this huge, great big room, and you've got a separate room where the platinum players play against each other, and some of them kids in there are just. I'm looking at them. I say I've only just started playing darts myself, but I seen there was this left-handed lad. I'm not too sure what he was. He was on the stage a few weeks ago, and I think he a few 180s in this match, and I think his average was something like 90 odd. And I'm just looking at this. I'm thinking fair play, and you could see how happy he was. You know, you could see how, and it wasn't just him who were happy. He's come off the stage. His opponent were happy for him. And it's a group of lads who are just into one thing. They've got that one common denominator. But you see them, like, you wouldn't, and I mean this with the best will in the world, is that you wouldn't put these group of lads together. Like, they all look completely different. And I don't say, we don't need to be sheep, and this is a perfect example of why you shouldn't be sheep. You know, they don't look the same. You wouldn't put them in that friendship group at school. It's almost like the in-betweeners as such, where they've all got different sort of personalities and stuff like that, and traits, you know. They're all wearing completely different stuff. But then you see them at the academy, and they've got that one common denominator of the love of darts, which have brought these people together, and it's so refreshing to see. It really is.
And it's great that he's about the academy and the kids. We've lost a lot of good kids, and it's horrible when to leave. It really is, because like they're like your friends, you know, and you've helped 12 years, and they go because they're getting too old, got a girlfriend, got their house. But I certainly know a certain group when they first started, they wasn't very close friends, shall we say, and they got talking, and then, you know, you try your best to help them, and, you know, make sure they get on, and you explain what the academy's about, and just, you know, you try to push them to be friends. And then, like, a couple of years after this happening, they all went Magaluf. Magaluf. When they was all 18, they all Magaluf together. Again, they might never, ever have gone Magaluf together. Well, they wouldn't have done money for the darts. And they're good friends. And they've all these lots have left now, but they still go to Saints together and things like that. And you see them, and they're still together, and they're still mates. And I think that's the part. That's the part I love, you know what I mean? And we've lost so many good kids there, but they just keep coming through. And I think this Monday as well, the other Monday we had a kid started, and he's too good, him. He's too good. But we got 2 newbies started last Monday, and we said, you can't go in the top group because they play each month, and you've got to earn your right to get up now. In the past, we used to estimate it, but now your top 2 players up silver go to gold. Golds go to platinum, 2 out of platinum drop down. That's how we do it, just so they've got something to play for. Once you're in that platinum, then you're playing 60 to 90 averages enough every game now, and it doesn't go off age, it goes off ability, because we've got two's only 13. You know, and that you've got to be under 21, and there's 2's 13 playing in that platinum group, and they're not getting beat every week. I think young Morgan, I think he finished second. I think he finished second or third last month, which is amazing for a 13-year-old boy, you know what I mean? And he has got massive potential. Again, he can't play PDC till he's 16. So they never stop coming through. And this Monday we had a bit of a shock, because this lad's come along, and his parents apparently said, yeah, he's quite good, yeah. So he has to start in the bottom group. Again, we're always moving with the times. We have to change things. So we had a bit of a committee meeting. We said, he's got to go up. He's got to go to silver. He will end up in the platinum before Christmas. And in the final, he hit a 180, a 140 and 2 tons. And a 70, I think it was 71.9 average, that's counties class, that. And,
unbelievable.
Yeah, and I don't know how old he's, I've never really
And he started at Christmas?
No, apparently he's not been playing a long time.
Yeah.
Apparently he's not been playing long, but with them stats there and averaging over 70, he's in the bottom group, so obviously it's a bit unfair.
It's a bit mean, that.
A bit mean on some, you feel terrible, but...
These kids have turned up on Monday wanting to try and win, and they've put... that's disrespectful.
It won't be happening next week. No,
is there any kids in the academy who you're hopeful they can make it big? Is there anybody there at the minute who you think he's special?
There's always special players, but what happens in the future, nobody knows.
Yeah.
I've had kids that at age of 10, 11 have been really good, and then they stop playing, and then they might come back when they're 17. And I've had kids who's got better and better, and then suddenly lost form and just not playing at the academy, and not playing for pub teams no more. I've had people who's quit. So you never know. You never know what's around the corner. You know, we've produced a lot of play, and some players, like I said, like Mike Smith was a talent, and he worked so hard on his game. He was world champion because of the sheer effort he put into his game. That's why he's world champion. Brilliant. And obviously his family, good family, backed him up all them years. You know what I mean? And Mike's repaid him by being world champion and that. So again, there's always. You don't know how long you're going. How long does it take to be a good dart player? That's impossible to answer. You know, like Mike was good at 14, 15. Every year for me, Mike just got better. But it took him probably 15 years to become so good. You know, other players do it in a couple of years, and so you never know. And I get people who've been playing 20, 30 years and they still want to get better. They still think they're going to make it. They've been playing 20 odd years and they still think they're going to make it. You know what I mean?
We're all hopeful, hey?
Yeah, but again, it's just darts for you, that, isn't it? You know, but again, every ability. These little kids here, some of them are just stupidly good. Some aren't that good. Some, you know what I mean? I won't name them because they're young kids, you say. And as a kid, they just won something in Southport. First thing he's won. But he goes to the academy every week, has been for a number of years now. And probably it's only this year that he started going, boom, you know. He's jumped up his 10 average better than last year. But he's been going at like maybe 1 average, 2 average maybe each year. He's only improved slightly. But this year, he's
found something in his game, I suppose.
He's just again. It's up to them to they've got to learn that. They've got to learn how to win. And once they get good, they've got to learn. You know, they've got to learn. Don't go back to the way it used to be. You've got to keep it, try and improve your game. You know, I mean, your greatest players on the planet try and improve the game. You know, and hopefully, young Morgan and young Jack, he's a lovely little lad and family. I love him to bits. Coming here. Went to Sky Crew, was here actually. Went to Sky Crew, come for the interviews with a few of the players for the World Championships. He did, and he's only 12. You know, he was 12 then. And he did a 10-dart leg in my shop in front of the camera crew. And I was like, my God. He said, it's my first ever one. I'm like, I've only ever done one. So, so again, they've got the ability, but you've got to be 16 before you can play in the PDC youth, and that's the goal. The JDC, if anybody's out there, JDC is very good. If you've got kids who are talented, JDC is a place to start off for me because nobody can be over 17, or I think you've got to be an 18 by. So you don't play anybody over 18.
Right.
So that is, you know, I forgot what the youngest age is. I think it might be 10. Might be 10 or 11. It's something I forgot what it is now, but it's
How
one
do
of
they
them.
find that? Is it online?
Just search for JDC. It's all the rules, regulations. A lot of academies are affiliated JDC. We've still not done that yet. We keep thinking about it, but your kids can go there. Yeah, your kids can just go to the JDC, turn up, fill the forms out, and go and play. But it's based. It might be one in Scotland, Coventry, down south. You know, a few in Wolverhampton. You know what I mean? Things like that. So you need to do travelling. It isn't cheap, and you've no chance of winning any type of money. But it's getting used to that different level rather than just playing at home. You're playing people your age, or you know, your ability.
It's completely different playing online to playing somebody in real life.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get it's the sense of being there and then in the moment. Whereas online, it doesn't really. I've been playing online darts, and I've been doing all right, to be honest with you. Don't want to big myself up, but I'm doing half decent. My average is going up. I had a game the other day, believe it or not, Carl, with an 82 average.
Yeah, that's.
Don't get me wrong, that's the first time I did that. I'm usually averaging around the 50s.
Yeah.
And my doubling's getting better. It's all about doubling, but playing somebody in real life definitely helps. It's bringing me on. I've been playing one of my close friends, Tom. We play each other quite a lot. So, but playing each other in real life to be playing online is vastly different. Now, something a nice little segue into this, and we've left him until kind of last. Is this absolute phenomenon of a young man called Luke Littler. He's been through the academy.
Yeah, all the way through, yeah.
I can't believe that at the age of 16, he took to the World Championship stage and didn't look out of place.
No, again, nobody in the world could do what he's done. No, not just nobody could do that. unless you played darts against competitive, like you said. And Luke played darts at the academy. He made we had all these rules what the committee make. We had to change the rules for him because we said no kids was allowed on the stage unless he was over 14. We had to chuck him on stage before he was 11. He was that good, and it was pointless in coming. So again, I'd word with his dad, and his dad said, "Yeah, he's up for it. He's always up for it, Luke. He loves winning. He loves showing people how good he is." Put him on stage. He didn't win Nottingham for a little bit, and then but once he won his first game, off he went, and he was like smashing them up. Again, Luke wanted to improve his darts. He started playing for a team, the Park Honey Club, where Chizzy's going there regular as well, and things like I used to do. And Luke was playing for Park Honey Club, so again he's playing against grown men. Then he started entering all the tournaments, and I said to his dad and to Luke, enter as much darts as you can. Competitions, they are long, they are tiresome, can be boring, but lots of people talk to you, so you should enjoy darts every time you play, you know what I mean? You're in there, just stop playing if you're not enjoying it. But Luke entered every comp, and he got to 4 finals, I think, in this town, and he kept getting beat, and then all of a sudden he won one. And again, once he won a men's final when he was probably 12 when he won that, going on 13, and then he just went to that next level. And every time he achieves something, once he achieves something, he tends to carry it on. And I mean, there's nothing better. Like I finished work one Saturday. There was a tournament. I walked into this club, and I said, "How you doing, mate? Everything all right?" "No." I said, "Why? What's wrong?" He said, "I've got that little person from your academy." He said, and he smashed me last time. And he said, "I'm going to beat him this time. I'm going to teach him. I'm going to teach him a lesson." Anyway, he come off, he'd lost 4-0. And I said, "How'd you get on?" Knowing too well the results. And he said, it's good to see Karl. He said, I'm gutted you brought him through. He said, he's too good for me. He's battered me, and he won the comp easy. He won the comp easy again. Then he went to the JDC. Once he won his first JDC, he won a few, become the best of that. Then he went to the, and it's always developed. And then don't forget, the World Youth Champion he was as well. He's won the PDC World. The PDC Youth has the top 128 men. Some of them are involved because if you can be 24 and still playing the youth in the PDC. So Luke is playing, Bradley Brooks and people like that who are phenomenal, who also come from our academy at one stage. So again, he's playing superb seasoned dart players who are pros, and they're in the youth. And where's he come? He comes second place, and in the finals, he won the final pretty easy. I think I forgot, it was 97 average or 100. It was something like it was 100 average. But again, he's doing 100 averages, and again, if you don't do that and you don't go to the comps and you don't learn to win there, you couldn't walk. Nobody in the world. If you averaged 100 at home every time you played, and then they put your alley palette, I'll guarantee you won't average 100. You'd be lucky to get 80, 85 because it's a different atmosphere. You've got to learn how to win on stage in front of people. And Luke had done that, and he was playing county for Cheshire, youngest ever Cheshire county player, you know what I mean? And
so you wasn't shocked then when this occurred?
No, not one bit. Not one bit.
So we strip it back. So I mean, it was last year?
Mm-hmm.
Me being me, very new to the game, I had no idea who this guy was. Like I dare say, 99% of the UK and the world had no idea who this guy was. But I think as just a fan of darts or something, it was something. So you've got this 16-year-old lad playing darts in front of the world, and he's absolutely destroying seasoned professionals. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I remember when he did an interview and he was playing Raymond van Barneveld. I think it was in the 3rd round or something like that. Yeah. And he did an interview before it, and obviously Raymond for him was like, no disrespect to the guys he played before, but I think for him it was like, from what he was saying, he was like, he looked up to Raymond. Yeah. He's a legend of the game. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden at 16, he's playing one of his idols on stage in front of, 20,000 people, whatever it is at Ali Pali, 10,000 people. I at 16, Karl, I didn't have a job. I think I was lay on my bed constantly playing Call of Duty. And yet you're looking at somebody at 16 who is dominating as seasoned professionals, he went up against Raymond and destroyed him.
Yeah. And they've took 10, 20 years to get that good, and he comes along and just smashes them. He's only been playing a few years. Yeah. But again, it's the will to win. Luke loves to win. He loves to show how good he is, and he's good at that. And as you can see, but when he played the first game, I was in the gate watching it, and I said, "Just watch this kid go." Just. They said, "Do you think he could win today, Karl?" I said, "I'm telling you now." I said, "I don't like bumming up too much," but I said, "I've watched him these years. He's got that something that not many have, you know what I mean? Because I've obviously watched Chizzy, Bunting, Mike Smith. He's got that something about him, and he's a winner. He loves to win." I said, "I think he could actually make the final of this championship." And this fella said, "Don't be stupid, Karl. I know you like that." I said, "No, honestly, I just think he can. He's got the ability." I said, and then people who know Luke now and seen him in the World Youth, and I said, they're not going to fancy playing him. Not one player up there is going to look forward to playing him, because they know you don't want to get beat. It's like getting beat by a woman. Getting beat by a 16-year-old kid, it's like getting beat by a woman at darts, which isn't too bad. I've done a few times, you know. But Luke, he's got that winning mentality. He's unbelievable talent, and he's learned how to win, you know. So again, when he come through the rankings, and I was holding back on what I wanted to say, but when the camera crew come in here and everything,
which I've seen,
yeah, when the camera crew, and I'm talking to this cameraman, they're all coming in the Sky camera crew, and they're all in here doing the jobs and talking. And you play darts? And one of them said, "Yeah, I play a bit. Yeah, I love my darts. Yeah." And I said, "I'll tell you something now." I said, "My dad's watched him. I watched him." I said, "I've never seen anything like him." I said, "Never seen anything like this lad at all." I said, "He's unbelievable." So anyway, all right, okay. He said, I've never really heard of him. The cameraman didn't never heard of him, apart from the art did the job of doing the camera job in here, you know. And I said after, I said, "Do you fancy a few legs against him?" Yeah. So we chucks him on the stage here. I said, "Go on then, you three have a leg each against him." I said, and I said, "You can have any darts." I said, "If you beat him," I said, "you can have any set of darts in here you want." So I was laughing like that. And I went back in the shop doing a bit of work like I do. And then this cameraman come into the shop. He said, "Karl," I said, "Don't tell me you've won, have you? I mean, which darts you want?" And he said, "I have no chance." He said, "I'll never win a set." He said, "Do you know what?" He said, "I didn't realise how good he actually," and this is, we're going back early December here, beginning of December. He said, "I did not realise how good he is." He said, "He's just averaged 107 against us. And he's not even had practice. He's just jumped up there, 107 average." I said, "Yeah, he can do that. He can do that." He said, "He can't do any better than that, can he?" I said, "I'll tell you what now." I said, he played in a tournament, played in Sums a few months ago. So, like, Luke was very young then, you know what I mean? And I think he was on 15 going on 16. And he actually did 123 average in a game. He won as well, by the way. So again,
I'm not surprised at that average.
But he can do that. And again, he's a lovely kid as well, Luke. Just forget how good of it. His ability is second to none. And again, he's gone from not having nothing to, well, he's going to be a millionaire, probably multi-millionaire or something at some stage. But again, he come in here, give us a shirt when he won the JDC Youth,
which is just above you.
Yeah. He come in, he give it us. I'll do it. If I've made him a multi-millionaire and he's give me a shirt, nothing better in life, you know what I mean? It's just, there's no better feeling than seeing that happen. And I'll just tell you a little story about Luke as well. On top of everything, what he does, he's part of our academy. When he was 13, again, good advice from me, advice I didn't want to give him, but I said, "You're wasting time coming here, Luke." And when he was 13, it was a waste of time coming. I said, "You're welcome to come every time, but you need to look at the bigger picture here. You were too good. You need to be doing it." And that's when he started playing county for Cheshire and doing all these other super things, should we say. So when he come back after the World Championships, that company did the ultimate cards, and they give him like 80 cards free. Luke did none the more. I planned it behind the whole academy. I didn't even tell the committee that Luke was coming in on that night, only a few weeks after the Worlds. And he was coming in to see all the kids, and and the kids starstruck, absolute stands there like that. And what he did was amazing. Them ultimate cards, if he signs them, his management team, whatever, you could get 30, 40 quid on eBay all day for them. And he sat there and he gave every single kid a card and signed everyone, 80 of them, you know what I mean? He could have got £2,000-3,000 for them, but he'd give everyone, the kids, one for free and a picture took. Again, a kid at age 16 giving away a few £1,000 of cards and signing them and going out of his way. It just shows what type of person he is. He's such a really nice, caring person, you know. Obviously, with social media, it's not always perfect what people say out there. Again, you've got to ignore that type of thing. You really do, because he is a cracking kid. He's a loving person, and he's genuine, is a nice person, and he's so mature, and he's so good on his interviews as well. You know, I know a lot of dart players who've been PDC many 8 interviews and talking, and yet that kid can go out there, do a very good job at talking, and I think he's a fantastic example to all the academy kids there, you know what I mean? You know, and he's not big-headed. He's not big-headed at all, you know, and he's still a kid, you know what I mean? He's good, yeah.
You're kind of responsible for his career in some aspects, you know, you've as you've just spoken about, but is there a possibility, do you think, that Luke could burn out?
Only time will tell. People go on about him being multi-world champion, and I think, let's try and win one. Let's try and win one. That's the hardest part. And the first one's always the hardest part. You know, he was only a few millimetres, I think, away from winning this one. But he possibly could be burnt out. But Luke, when you're at that ability like Luke's got, and a few other players, you don't need, because these are the players who ain't got that ability. They've got to keep practicing 20, 30 hours a week, you know, get that repetition, making sure they don't miss and they go, keep working. But Luke's that damn good. And other players as well, I said, just once they get playing at that level, they don't need practice as hard, right? He's got the natural ability, so he doesn't need practice a hell of a lot. Just maybe half an hour a day or something like that. Because his practice, he practices before he plays on TV, practices on the floor events, and when you're that good like Luke is, as you know, he's number one in European tours, and number one into. So you're playing on TV, to play on TV, the more you're on TV, the better you get, and you've got to learn to win on TV. Luke's done all that now, you know what I mean, on Premier League, for example. So he doesn't need to practice that hard. His practice is match practice. He's playing that more matches, because when you're up there at top, you're playing more matches than all the other players, because they're getting beat it first round. They're practicing hard just for that one game, then they get beat.
Yep.
But he's getting loads of match practice, TV coverage as well, which is important for darts, but it's important for the players that they play. The only thing is, when you have a few bad TV performances, then it turns around on you. Then people start saying things, you know, and it must get to players. I know it for a fact it does with a few of them. They're still trying as hard as ever, but once you lose that edge, you start getting beat on TV a lot, you know. And people keep telling me that everybody said, "Oh, Chizzy can't play on TV." I've heard it. I must have heard it 100,000 times. He can't play on TV. That's because they're only watching him at quarters and semis, you know, and getting beat in finals. But he's got there. Where's the rest? They're in bed. They're in bed watching him, you know. So again, that's what darts about. People have an opinion because of what they see, you know. And don't forget, if you back Chizzy to beat MBG was 7-1 in the World Championships a few years ago. 7-1. That's what you get for Chizzy winning against Michael van Gerwen, in the quarterfinals. And Chizzy smashed him 4-0. Absolutely destroyed. Might have been 5-0, I think it was. And Chizzy murdered him. 107 average Chiz. Probably the best he's ever played that. And Michael van Gerwen didn't have a chance. And Michael van Gerwen was a huge favourite. I think you only got 2-1. You only got 2-1 for Michael, 3-1 for Michael to win 5-0. Yeah. And Chizzy absolutely destroyed him. So again, on your day, these players on the day, they can all do it, you know. But again, with Luke, I just hope he just carry on. I just hope he just carries on. Well, he will, because he's that type of person.
Has he got a good support group around him?
Yeah, he's gone from being some kid playing JDC and, you know, I said not much money really. He'd earned a few quid before he won the youth and things like I used PDC and World Championships, you know. So he's got good people around him, and obviously his dad's took him everywhere. And because he's not 18, his dad has to go everywhere with him. Otherwise, it's hard to get a kid out of the country under 18 with somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you mentioned a little bit before about how his parent, he's only been doing it for 9 months now.
Yeah.
And you look. I follow Luke on Instagram and his social medias and stuff, and he's constantly away.
Yeah,
like he's never at home. It's like I think he was just been in Australia.
Well, he was at USA, then he went Australia, then New Zealand, then he come back. He was in Germany, and then he won it. I think he won. Did he win the German Open? Then he got then he's just been in Belgium, hasn't he? Just been in Belgium.
Yeah.
He was winning. It's unusual for him. He was winning 5-2 and lost. Very unusual for him.
Yeah, it was against Snakebite.
Yeah.
Right.
Again,
Yeah.
just
phenomenal comeback.
Yeah. Great. Do you know what? I was actually pleased for Peter.
It's great to see.
He's a great to see him back.
Fantastic for darts in terms of like he's had a tough time in the Premier League. And again, a lot of people like my missus, we sit down every Thursday and we'll watch the Premier League darts because it's so accessible for us. You know, it's a Thursday night, not much is happening. And these 8 darts players come on each week. And obviously this year, Peter Wright's been smashed up left, right, and Chelsea, hasn't he? And it's but we know how good he is.
Yeah.
Like,
he is good, yeah. But
phenomenal.
again, I think this is where people get their opinions from, and then obviously Peter loved that win because everybody's written him off. He's no good, he's gone, and then he's shot back up the rankings again now. He's gone back up a little bit, you know what I mean? And it's horrible when you're in that Premier League, I mean, I think Mike Smith, for example, I always hope Mike wins. We've been friends for years, and I always wish him well. And when he went that Premier League, Mike, he didn't do well. And everybody kept saying, he's rubbish him, he's gone. And he's gone. He probably was in the bottom 2 players in them 10. I'm going back a few years ago, not now. But when you're getting beat on TV and you're not bottling it, you're just not quite firing. And when you keep doing it, people start saying, he's rubbish him. Yeah.
Because that's all they're seeing of him.
He's one of the worst players in the best 10 in the world at that time.
8.
Yeah. But then again, I think was it year after he got to the final, the MVG beat him at final the year after, I think, and he was phenomenal, So again, it's when you're watching them same 10 and you end up at the bottom like Peter's done, and everybody's saying it, and they'll have their opinion, but saying he's not good, that Peter, right? He's gone. Look at him, he's rubbish. He shouldn't be in Premier League, and lots of people saying it. And then he goes smash Luke and plays absolutely.
Well, one player I really do like, and this might be controversial, because of what he's like on stage, is Gerwyn Price.
Yeah,
I really like, and again, I've never met Gerwyn Price before, and I know he rubs people up the wrong way because of his celebration and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for me, I really enjoy seeing people who are flamboyant, your Snakebite Wrights, and I love the fact that there's one memory which. Before you say what you were just about to say, is that one memory, you've got a 17-year-old lad, Premier League of Darts, in Liverpool, Luke Littler, who gives it the old 2-0 to the crowd after United beat Liverpool.
He's got a lot. He's got a lot of friends. I know he lost a few friends that night, unfortunately.
I'm not surprised.
But yeah, I'm not really. But again, he's got lots of friends in Liverpool. Plays darts in Liverpool, knows them all, and he's good friends with them all. So it was just a little bit of banter, but of course it went a bit viral. And
it was. I think stuff like that is brilliant for the game.
It was. It added to the atmosphere and it created something. Sure, but again, Gerwyn Price creates a lot of things, and I personally love him. Premier League without him, oh no, we can't do.
But he's another player this year, Carl, who's struggled on the Premier League. And like my missus, she's going, it's not very good, this. And I'm like, because she's never watched the Premier League before, she's formulating her opinions on the however matches she's seen, because we watched every single week. I think it's 16 matches or something, or 16 dates. She's formulating an opinion on that. And I'm like, you're talking about a guy last year who won it. He won it the year before, didn't he, Gerwyn Price?
Yeah.
Or did he lose the fight? He lost the final against MVG?
He was world champion a few years ago, not long back.
Unbelievable data.
Yeah, and he was and I think he went to number 1 in the world, and he was unbelievable. And again, he's just got beat a few times on TV and he started struggling. And listen, MVG did it, didn't it? And MVG is. I've looked what MVG's won now. He's won more than all them lots.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous what he's won. It is, and the amount of floor events he's won, the Pro Tours, he's won so many events, but he ain't won many world champions. So when he gets that world champion, MVG, he knows that he's struggled in it for years. And when he's gone up there, he's just not performing. He might prepare right to get everything right, but then when he gets up there, because he got beat a few times, the opposition then are saying, do you know what? Just let me get my nose up in front here. Let me have a good set against him. And he stops throwing as good, and he does stop throwing as good. MVG done, and he's done it for a number of years, but he's still at top 2 or 3 at world, isn't he, right now? But you put him at top 3, probably not number 1. But again, that's what darts is all about. It's about that tension, that bottle. And if you're playing that Premier League of darts and you're just not quite bob on, But sometimes you do that, you can have a month off and you can just come back strong and right. I'll put myself right for this event. But in that Premier League match, you play crap one week, you're in it again next week. You're in the same situation a week later.
Well, you do see that, don't you? Is when, like, I think who was it now? Aspinall struggled at the start of this year's Premier League, and then he hit a bit of form. And then before you know it, he was up there, wasn't he? And then Luke Littler went on a run. Humphreys went on a run. I think Van Gerwen went on a run, and then he hit a bit of bad form, and he never won. He didn't even get through the quarters for like 4 rounds or whatever, and everyone was going, writing him off, and you're thinking, you're talking about guys who, like you quite rightly say, it's the top 8 guys in the world, not just in the country, in the world of darts, and they're playing each other week in, week out, and that's what I feel like people who are kind of on the fringe of darts. I think it's a beautiful thing, the Premier League of darts, because it is so easy to watch. You know, it's a quick format, which you don't have to be invested in too much. But then it's also its downfall, because then you're formulating opinions on guys because each week they're getting beat like Snakebite has. And we know as people who watch other darts that he's a fantastic player.
And I did a lot of interviews, and do you know, it was good, like a few of the TV, and they rung me up, thought, don't tell me it's another interview. No, another one, because they had a lot end of December, as you say. And it was good, they was asking me opinion, and one said, Karl, Luke's had a bad few runs and he's dropped down now to 4th in the Premier League, blah, blah, blah. And I said, but Luke's a winner. I said, I'm not even worried about that. I said, I'll tell you what now. I said, in the next few weeks, he'll win one. And when he win one, he'll just go back up again. And I told him that. And then about 4 weeks later, he rung me up. I said, Karl, how do you know these things? I said, I don't know. You just know. You just get that feeling. And I said, when Luke wins something, he tends to win it again. You know what I mean? Once he does something good. And again, he won that Premier League week after he won again. He was absolutely smashed them. He smashed them all. And he was amazing. He had a good spell there. And again, he rocketed. He was on the border. He was under pressure. He was on the border of not making that Premier League at one stage there. And then he just wiped the floor with them because he needed to. And
in his first year as well.
Yeah, great. You know what, proud moments before as well. I think that goes up there, especially when you've helped him out and been part. I've only played a small part, but played a part with his early career, you know what I mean? And just to watch him on that stage, Premier League champion, and I was the last person to speak to him. And I went upstairs to his room with his dad and that, and they were all staying in that hotel next door. And I had a chat with him, and I was like, just enjoy it, mate. I said, I don't care if you lose wits. Go out and enjoy it. I said, you'll win it. If you just go out and enjoy it, you'll win it, mate. I said, I'm confident. Give him a big hug. I said, see you later, good luck. And off I went. And then, again, about them feelings. I was in that room that night. He played Mike Smith, so I was literally on the fence. I was like, whoever wins this, I want him to win this Premier League. Don't bother what the other player wanted. That was my opinion anyway. And he beat Mike, and I was a bit like gutted for Mike, but I thought, right, that's it, I just spoke Luke now. I was talking to Target, sponsor, somebody else, what do you think? I said, he'd win. I said, he's going to win the semi-final. He won semi-final. Got to the final, and it was 5 apiece. They went off at the break, and talked to Target again. Talking to one of my men from Target there. He said, Karl, this is tense. What are you thinking now? I said, Luke Littler's coming out, he's going to win this. He said, are you sure, Karl? He said, because we're pretty nervous here. I said, no, he's going to win it. That's all I'm saying.
There was that moment, actually, in talking about that, when it was 5-5.
Yeah.
And again, I think it was, I forget who was commentating with Mardle. Mm-hmm. The commentator said something along the lines of, they've made the treble bigger. And Mardle said, don't say that because the crowd will believe you. And I think, am I right in thinking, did Luke hit a 9-darter as soon as he came out?
Very first leg, yeah.
And it was like, yeah, fair play. Yeah.
But I said he's going to smash him. I mean, Luke Humphreys is the best player in the world. I actually think Luke Humphreys is still the best player in the world
Phenomenal
right now.
Player,
he's so good, and he
so consistent as well.
And when he looks like he's struggling, he just steps up. You know, and he did against Luke Littler in the final. Though he did it when he had to, because Luke had won that set. Humphreys' bottle might have totally gone there. It might have done. We never know, do we? But again, in that final,
was that when he had a chance to go like 5-2 up?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Like 4-3 or something once. Again, that'd have made a huge difference. Yeah. But again, I think he missed 2-2 with 3 darts, and it was one of them. It's a killer. But again, because that happened, he wanted to get Luke Humphreys back for that. There's no doubt I know how Luke works. He wanted to win. He wanted to get him back for that.
He's done it multiple times.
But again,
I mean,
5 apiece there. There's not much in it. Luke had to do it, and he come on stage. Like I said, he was incredible. next 4 legs he was about 118 average, wasn't he, something like that.
It's ridiculous.
But again, to do a 9-darter, and that changed the whole atmosphere in that room. You know, me being there, and again, and when he won, he come off stage and he was hugging his family, and again, I was talking about before, jumping in. I was like, I have to go and see him. You know what I mean?
Proud dad.
Almost
like a proud dad.
I just gave him a big hug, and I gave him a big up, and I just went, "You're amazing, well done, mate, loved it." You know, and then I just left him alone. Then I didn't even see him until next morning at the hotel because I knew everyone's mad at him. So I don't, you know what I mean? I played my part and watched him win that. I think that's proudest moment of my life, or for certainly for the academy and for what he'd done. That was absolutely amazing. Cost a fortune to go, worth every single penny. You know, I think the hotel was £500 for the night. I've never, I've only got Blackpool for a month for that. Yeah, so
I think that is an absolutely fitting way to sort of end this podcast. And I hope you guys have liked it. I've really enjoyed doing it. I've enjoyed just sitting here and listening to you talk, and I feel like we need to do it again.
Yeah, well, go through all these pictures. I could tell you every story. There's 2,500 pictures in here, and just look round with the people who's been in, and your Max Ops and all them. And even I've had Prakash you with him. And people like that who just come, and they've stayed at my house and they come in and take them for meals and look after them. And, there's hundreds of people who's come in, and there's lots of stories behind lots of them, And it's just through us helping people that we've ended up with all this, Lockdown did me a great deal, as in give me something to do in lockdown. And I thought, I've got all these pictures all over my PC and my phones, I think when I went in lockdown, I think it's like 38,000 pictures.
Not many.
I deleted all the stupid ones, rubbish ones, and I just started printing them off, remember. So again, I've had them there all them years, and it was great just to print them off, and brought back a lot of great memories and things, and even when we started out with Target Darts, and we did an exhibition with Tony O'Shea and Alan Tabin, who was sponsored by Target at the time, and Target didn't want, so we had tickets for £10 each, but if you come at shop, we'll give them away free. You should have seen the queue. We was never going to charge for them, but because they thought we was getting a free ticket for a tenner, and 580 tickets we sold for that. An exhibition, 580 in the town centre. Again, that was a cracking night. Everybody loved it, you know what I mean? And Dave Brown, who worked for us, he was the MC in that, who's Alan Tabin's brother-in-law, she was a stepbrother. Yeah, so, and there's millions of great memories, great pictures. I don't think I'll ever been bored with darts. I don't think I ever will be, and I'm just one part of the cog, but, it's great. It's just great to see them all.
Before the World Championships this year, I think we just get back in, don't we? And we'll have a chat about all this sort of stuff. We'll probably bring in some of your memorabilia so these guys can see what you've got in the back, because I've seen bits and bobs of it, and I feel like these guys need to see it as well.
I think we've got 73 match worn or signed shirts. Obviously, the Brendan Dolan one's my famous one.
If you've not seen them, you have to come and have a look.
All them, but there's lots of stuff I want to get out, and I have got quite a large collection, a huge collection of signed darts and things, and some have been given, some have been given, some I've had to buy, you know what I mean? But they're still sentimental to me, the fact that I've got them, you know what I mean? And and obviously, like Carl Anderson come in my shop again, went playing in Wigan. He tweeted just as I pulled up at Wigan, you have to turn your phone off. So in them days, you had to turn your phone off. You can have it on now as long as it's silent. And I was just turning my phone off, and I sent this tweet, Carl Anderson, and he says, "What am I going to do for 4 days now? I'm just qualified first day." He did a 9-darter, qualified first. Phenomenal player. Unfortunately, he died a few years ago, didn't he, Carl? So again, I was outside the venue. I thought, I wonder if he'll come in the shop. So again, it's just by chance, things like that. You get lots of situations like, but you take it. Walked in, there was Carl Anderson, right? I said hello to a few people, and I seen him on his own there. I said, "Hi, Carl, how you doing?" I said, "Are you bored?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I've just seen your tweet. You know what you're going to do for 4 days?" I said, "Well, I've got a dart shop if you want to come and have a look at it." So I brought a dart shop. So then I also put on the Darts Academy wall. Like I said, or put on my wall, I think it was. I said, "Karl Anderson's coming to shop. Anyone say hello to him?" And there were quite a few academy kids turned up and had the picture took with him and everything. They didn't know who he was, because nobody else in the world knew who he was. And obviously, he was one of the best dart players I've ever seen, and then he took ill, didn't he? So That's it. Life's very short, and enjoy it where you can.
You've got to make the most of it while we can, and that's a fitting way to end, Karl. Thank you very much for being on the first ever podcast. I hope it's gone all right. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. There's going to be plenty more on the way soon. And as I say, we'll get Karl back on the show before the World Championship, which is here this year. He'll be giving his expert opinion on who's going to win this year, so we can all put a bit of money on, lump on it. And as I said, Karl, thank you very much.
Okay, cheers. Thanks
it's been
for
an absolute pleasure. And until next time, guys, see you.